was a comment that was made on Facebook the other day about being a submissive woman. They were saying that a submissive woman controls her man, and I agree with that. I think until we begin to talk in honesty and transparency and stop pandering to both sides, especially to the sisters, because there is so much entitlement, and because men have been quiet for so long, and it's been the men that has been quiet were the type of men that y'all really need to be listening to. The men that doing the most talking ain't the ones, they don't have nothing to say anyway.
What's good? It's your boy Quay Price, man, holding it down for Kandid Konvos. Definitely check us out every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. People today, they lazy. Ain't nobody trying to put in no work. If stuff start getting a little rough in the relationship or in the marriage, ain't nobody trying to fix nothing. Like, I mean, that's how people's mindsets are today. Yeah, but that's how I know that folks don't truly understand what marriage was about, because they tap out way too easy. Yeah, you see people fight harder for a job, like they can't go get another one of them in 2 weeks. Yeah, she's talking about these guys coming to these foreign countries and sourcing out these foreign women because they possess these character traits. Yep, they're more cooperative when it comes to a man, or they're more cooperative when it comes to a marriage and a relationship. They're more, nurturing forward when it comes to a relationship. They're more I don't even want to use the word soft, but I'll use the word soft. They're softer when it comes to, these relationships and interactions with men and so forth. And like I said, we definitely got to be honest. We see a difference, right? We see a difference. And I think, Chloe and Tay made some good points earlier. A lot of this stuff is based around money over here in the West. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Kandid Konvos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Coco on deck. We got Vince on deck. Say what's up to the people, y'all.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back.
What's good? Hold on. I got to catch my stuff up. Hold on. Wait a minute. Man, my bad, man. We got tropical storm Michigan popping off right now, so yeah, so stuff get a little sketchy, man. Y'all bear with us, man. It's wild out here right now. But yeah, shout out to y'all for joining us tonight. Appreciate you guys always holding us down. If you haven't already, smash that like button. Likes are free. Smash that like button. For all my YouTube folks out there, hit that subscribe. Let's say we need those subscribers. We need that reach. We need that exposure. So definitely, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe. And lastly, hit that share. Let's say we want to get this content out to our people so that we can move us forward based on some of these gems that we drop in these conversations. All right, let me check in real quick, see who's coming in, then we'll get that link going. Let's see. Shout out to, I think that's Highway 20, Skinny. Shout out to you checking with, hold on one sec. Shout out to you checking in with us tonight. Appreciate you hopping on, supporting the platform. See, shout out to my guy, J.U. Griffin. He said much love, respect, and blessings to everyone. What's going on, J.U.? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight as well. I think I got one of yours queued up, J.U. You right on time, man. Shout out to the real one in the building. He said, hello there. How's it going? What's going on, the real one? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight. Let's see. Donovan, what up? What up? Happy, yeah. Tornado, sorry it was Wednesday. Yeah, man, it's crazy up here, man. Yeah, I'm trying to get stuff together, man. It's raining all on my situation, man. Yeah, man, I didn't even see this in the forecast, but you know, hey, it is what it is. See, Jay, you said, let's see, all is going well if we can get rid of the tornado. Man, oh, so this just going on all around the country, I see.
Wow. St. Louis too.
Okay, yeah, we just got the heavy rain and the little windy stuff going on up here, but y'all talking about tornadoes running through. Huh.
Is there a tornado warning? Maybe.
I don't know. Well, like I said, bear with us if stuff go black tonight. Bear with us. Let's see. Shout out to Kenyatta. She said, happy Wednesday. What's going on, Kenyatta? Appreciate you hopping on with us as well. Hope you're staying dry on that side of town. I know you probably seeing a little bit of this. All right. So let me drop this link. So here's the link to join us on the panel. You can drop this in your Google Chrome, your Microsoft Edge, coming through Apple device. I don't think there's any restrictions. So come on through your Apple device. But yeah, join us on the panel. Don't be scared. Get in on this conversation. Like I said, we want all the perspectives. We want all the smoke. You know, we run from no conversations here. So definitely join us. Here's the link. In addition to the video feed here, we also have this in the chat feeds. So all my chat folks out there, you can catch it at the Kandid Konvos page on YouTube or Facebook. Like I said, we are live on both platforms right now. So I'll leave this up here a little bit as we get into the conversation. All right. So let me see who we got queued up. Let's see, we got Coco, we got Vince, we got Beatbox. What's going on with you, man? We got JR. Okay. We got a deck right here. Okay. I see we get to talk about these fellas and the panel load up. I see what it's about to be. Everybody, while you watching, hit that like button. These likes way too low for all these folks that's on here right now. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Did I miss anybody? Okay, I think that's everybody. Okay. We'll drop this link for a minute. Let us know if y'all need the link. All right, let's get on to it, man. I said we don't know how this night gonna go. So topic for tonight. Black men are the problem. Man, straight like that, huh? It's just nothing extra on that. Just black men is the problem. We run that back. Topic for the night. Black men are the problem. Yeah, I'm at to sip on that, boy. Let me go and get my mind right. I see how that's about to go. All right. So we got a couple videos. One that's definitely going viral right now. So we're going to go on to kick this off.
In the black community.
Let me get it right at the beginning. All right.
At what point in the black community do our men create real homes? I'm looking at a successful black man that has the ability to literally turn the narrative on black family. My whole family, they're married. I'm not the girl who didn't see what a man creating a black family is supposed to be. So I'm asking right now, black men, I got to my black men to really step up for black women and create families.
Yeah.
It's really not cool. Black men are attacking black women. And it's not a cool, they're not creating homes. They're creating babies everywhere. It's not cool. And I'm asking you, other successful black men, you have to set an example as leads. The cute social media back and forth on black women. We are consistently creating the cycle of kids who can't come home and see their daddy there. And they see their mama sad at night. At what point is the successful black man in this world going to step in and really create structure? I see white men doing it every day.
Ooh-wee. All right, topic for tonight. Topic for tonight. Black men are the problem. Okay. So that was K Michelle. She looked like she stopped on the Cam Newton. I think it's, what is it called? Funky something. Forgot what it's called. But stopped in on this podcast. So shout out to Cam for that. Definitely check him out. He dropped some good content, good conversations. But yeah, K Michelle said that these black men dropping the ball. They're not creating families. When is it going to stop? When is it going to change? You know, she got a little emotional. A couple, tears was shed, but, I guess it was hitting home. So anybody in the comments who saw it, drop a comment, let me know. I'm coming to the panel. Let me just check these comments, then I'm coming up to the panel. Let's see. Donovan said, let's see, the man purchases the house, the wife creates the home, is what I was taught. Okay. Appreciate that comment right there, Donovan. Donovan also said, why is she crying? Yeah, it's a good question, Donovan. I don't know. I don't know why she crying, man. See, Kenyatta said, right. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, Donovan also said, let's see, why are potential good women picking losers? Okay. Appreciate that comment right there. Check this, because I got all types of stuff coming in. Beatbox, man. All right, man, I'm coming to the panel, man. Y'all saw it. I don't think I need to run it back. Coco, Vince, Beatbox, JR. Anybody come off mute, say what you want to say. I'm gonna hold my peace.
I'm gonna start this off. This is why it's over for women. There's absolutely no accountability, even in her own life. I remember her from Love and Hip Hop. I think she left the first baby father because she had the child when she was really young. So of course their excuse is going to be, I was young and dumb and whatever. And I actually think he's a good father by what she said. Then she goes on to get a booty the size of Memphis, where she's from. Then she goes ahead and decides to say a rapper named Memphis who had a bunch of kids. There's absolutely no accountability for the fools that they pick. And let's be clear, Cam Newton is an athlete. He's not what men think of when they think of success. See, that's the difference too. Men don't put these baby daddies on a pedestal like women put a Sexy Red and a Meg Thee Stallion on the pedestal. We just think they're men. And I think I sent you something. 86% of millionaires are married. And I would say it's probably that amount of black millionaires that are married. So successful men are getting married. Y'all not picking successful men. Y'all picking the ones that you love. Y'all picking the ones that make you feel good. Y'all passing over the successful men because they boring. They don't have no swag like Cam Newton with his second baby mama who pregnant again with his third child. He ain't got swag like Future and Nick Cannon and all them. So, and they don't listen to the men that they really want. That's why I just had to just cancel some things that I was following because it's like you're labeled as you're arguing. No, I'm not arguing. I'm just stating a point. And because I don't agree with you, then I'm sassy. But I'm just cut to the chase. I'm the prototype of the man that y'all want. Successful, married, take care of his kids, a pillar in the community, love his mama. My my business is full of all women. I have more calls on Father's Day from my employees than my actual friends.
Mm.
But they don't want to listen to the accountability part of look at who you chose. And we ain't building firms because y'all ain't requiring marriage. Let's get to that point. Ladies back in the day at least required marriage.
Right.
So I'll let the next person go.
Okay, appreciate that right there. Go ahead, Coco.
I'm just gonna piggyback on Vince. Like I agree, the lack of accountability, and I don't know what the crocodile tears are for, because when you really are passionate about something and you're really standing on business about something, there would be a change. Something in your situation would change. There would be a shift. And I don't disagree that men do have to take some accountability for the babies that are getting created, because obviously the women aren't doing it all by themselves. And while I understand that it's not the larger majority of men doing it, it's the smaller minority of men doing it. The fact of the matter is, it's, it still takes a man and a woman to create a child, right? So there is accountability to be had on both sides. But what I don't understand though is, women, if you are tired of repeating this cycle, then why haven't you closed your legs?
Mm.
Or why haven't you, it's just, at this point, we're in hundreds of different types of birth control. Right. It's too many to count. There's so many ways for you to avoid getting pregnant. And I'm like, at what point as a woman do you think it's your responsibility for you to manage your own reproductive health? Why is that a man's responsibility? Making sure you do not get pregnant if you don't want a child, that's a part of your reproductive health, because you're the one that's going to be carrying that baby and you're the one that potentially will be affected by it. Your reproductive system will produce that baby. So you need to figure out how you can protect yourself. And if you out here fooling around with dudes and you feel like men don't care, then you need to care. But if you're not doing what you need to do, then at what point do we stop making excuses and saying, well, a man knocked me up? What's this? He could not have done that without your permission. If we're not talking about some SA scenario, then he could not have done that without your permission. So boo-hoo and cry me a river of tears after you've decided to allow this man to enter into you, and you have actively and willingly replicated his DNA. And now you're saying, why do black men keep creating records? I'm at the point now where all the information we have at our fingertips, all of the resources we have at our fingertips, y'all keep saying every time somebody asks a question, it's 2025. You don't know this by now? Okay, so it's 2025 and y'all have not figured out how to not get pregnant at this point? We can no longer blame this on men.
You leaving it right there?
That's it.
Okay. All right. B-Box, it's on you. Go ahead, man.
Oh man. I saw this video yesterday. I just couldn't stop laughing. So I do apologize. It just tickled me. I know K. Michelle thinks we're stupid. She, years ago, said there's no good men. She said this. She said, no, all men are bad people. She said this. I'll look this up. I'm not joking. She said, all men are bad people. So I'm like, oh, so if all men are bad, why are you not wanting black men to come save it? I thought we're all bad people. I thought something was wrong with all of us, right? Oh, so let's go down the list of all the people she's dated. Let's go down the list, because it was just Myth Hits. Myth Hits was pretty toxic. That's why it was so public. He was beating the heck out of her, so it was really bad. Let's go down this list. Chad Johnson. Anybody know who that is? Running back for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That guy has multiple baby mamas. Next one, Meek Mill. Meek Mill, the guy apparently who went to P. Diddy parties. He also has multiple baby mamas. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Lance Stevenson, the troll for the guy who troll LeBron James all the time, blowing his ear, acting a fool, doing guitar stuff. No, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. This is who she's been dating. I'm going down the list. J.R. Smith, love to smoke weed before games. J.R. Smith, one white guy, Ryan Loesch. I think he's a swimmer who was going against Michael Phelps from my hometown of Baltimore. So, and also kind of a dick. Not the best white guy. I don't know why she picked him. Idris Elba, the only one guy. How'd you fumble that? You should date Idris Elba. She messed that up. Bobby Mays. I'm not sure who that is. And the last person of note that she dated, LaShawn McCoy. Come on, K. Michelle. Come on. Like, almost all those guys on the list are pookies. What are we doing? What are we talking about? And then you're talking to Cam Newton, who also is the king of pookies. So what are we talking about? About pookies aren't going to create homes. And the whole podcast really, to me, kind of summed up kind of where we're at as like as a people. Like, you can't have all this history of who you're dating, right? And then say, oh, well, black men, come save me. Because that's kind of where we're at. It keeps happening. Come be Superman and save me. Save the community. No. K. Michelle, you got it. Women like K. Michelle, y'all got that. We're not going to save y'all. It's over.
Okay, I see you standing firm on that. That's, it's over. So I ain't mad, man. Let me let's see. No comments right now. Who else we got? JR, Joe, y'all want to say anything? Or y'all good right now?
Yeah. Y'all still listen to Black Woman?
Come on, JR. Come on. That's how you coming on, man?
Huh?
Is that how you coming on like that, man?
Nah, man, the weather's good, man. I feel good around there, man. Nah, we got some good sun and whatnot. Yeah, so I'm happy, man. And here you go, Black Women chatting shit as normal. Like, come on now. Like, I understand, right? We're not going to be disingenuous, right? Yes, black men, have played a major part. I would say they was the first one to let the community down, But also at the same time, black men have and are improving. But our counterpart, our sisters, they don't seem to be improving in most of the metrics out here, So I don't understand how there can be more black women than black men. More black women have kids out of wedlock than men. Yet more black men are married than black women. How? I'll just leave that there for now.
Okay, ain't no problem. Go let that marinate for a minute.
Amen, JR. Amen.
It's a valid point. I know some stats around that out there. Joe, you want to say anything, man, before we get into this?
Yeah. So this is my first time hearing about and seeing this lady. So I guess I got the rundown from Vince and B-Boxer as to who she is, her character. And it's like, I was, even not knowing any of this beforehand, the first thing I noticed, which every man here has noticed, she's talking all this big game with her titties hanging out.
I was dead. I mean, I couldn't even look away. And I'm a woman, a whole woman, and I like batting balls, but I could not look away. I was so distracted. I'm sitting here listening to this woman go, "Oh my God!"
I can't take your message seriously.
All she got to do is move a certain way, and baby, they popping out of that thing,
bouncing and I'm like, what man? And you looking at it, so
and she crying boohoo tears about what men are doing.
But yet she's based on her dating history. She's clearly dressed this way because she wants a man like Cam, even though she's also simultaneously speaking about men like Cam. So she's contradicting herself, her words with her actions. You don't dress that way around a man, because when a woman is dressed like that around me, I know she's interested in something. And it's not about my morality or my character or me having a stable black home. She wants that one thing. She wants something. And it's not this family that she's preaching about. Um, it that man, JR, I know you said that we were the first ones to kind of mess it up, but yeah, man, I don't know, man. The more research I do, the more I realize I'm not buying that we were the ones who we don't make these kind of choices. Even when it comes to the women I talk to, it's the women who choose. They decided they are into me, and then I decide if I want to be with them. I've never really had much success approaching women, just the one I want. No, it's like, man, we're going to go based on our options. If a woman presents herself to us, most men are not going to say no, thank you. They're going to take it and run with it. So, but it's always a woman's choice who she lets in to her body and who she decides to reproduce with. And I don't know if she has any kids or not, but let's just say she represents a lot of the single black female households. She is a representation of that. And now it's starting to spread into other cultures too. But it really started, well, I don't know if it started in the black family household, but I don't know how or why it started. Maybe the sexual revolution. I don't know. Don't care. All I know is that she contradicted everything she was saying. And all you had to do was just take one look at her and say, well, if you was really serious about what you were saying and you standing on that, then you would dress the part, even if you was faking that. Like, let me think that you actually believe what you're saying. Like, you can dress the part and still be a thought, and still like want to say that's cool. But now you're making it obvious that you're not trying to hide who you really are. So, not a very smart woman. If that was her intent, was to get us to think, to guilt trip us. All this crying and emotion. Even got to Cam. Cam was like, man, I was like, no, Cam, don't. He looked like he was about to tear up. Man, yeah, maybe you're right. Dude, she's trying to get to you. She's manipulating. And that's typically what a lot of women do. They'll manipulate the situation. They'll use the tears, the oh my God, woe is me. When are men going to step up? All this other stuff. Come on, black man. And then, oh, by the way, white men do it better. Oh, thanks. Bravo. You deserve an Academy Award for that. So I'll leave it at I'll leave
I
it
have a
at that.
question. I have a question for Coco, and I'm not putting you on the spot. It's only because you're the only woman on the panel. I am totally confused. I'm gonna ask you a question. What now? Women have said they're the least protected and the most. What was it? Least protected and the most uncovered. What?
Disrespect. What was it?
Okay. What do y'all want to be protected and covered from? I really want to know. This is a really serious question. They keep complaining about we ain't protected, we ain't covered. What do you want to be protected and covered from? Because the way I hear it, you don't need no man. Y'all got y'all own money. Y'all can have y'all own kids. I'm happy being single. I'd rather girls trip. I want my peace. So
I think
you should be okay then.
you know what? I'm gonna say it this way. All right, I'm gonna try to explain it. I think that what women are saying they want to be protected from is really honestly is just simply life circumstances. Like they're looking at their situations, the fact that they are single mothers and they feel like they're being left out there to do everything on their own, and they feel like they have to go through this life and they keep getting hitting a brick wall and they're struggling and they feel like, where is the black man that's supposed to be helping me? Where is the black man that's supposed to be making sure I'm safe when things are happening to them? And they feel like, where is that black man at? But what I don't think they understand is they are creating the scenarios, their choices and their decisions are creating the scenarios that are leaving them unprotected. So while they're trying to blame the black man for the reason, as he's the sole reason why they're unprotected, what they don't understand is you're asking someone to come in and protect you from your own life's choices. You're asking someone to come in and try to shield you from your own poor decisions. That's what you're upset with black men for, because they're not making your decisions okay for you. They're not covering and protecting your bad choices. They're not willing to do that, right? And I think that's the problem. That's why they feel unprotected. Because the truth of the matter is, I don't necessarily, Black women aren't simply unprotected because Black men don't want to protect Black women. I believe that some of the very reasons why you said, Vince, that they're saying, I'm independent, I don't need a man, I can do better by myself. You know, if he's not, what the girl say last week, if he's not doing better than me, then, I mean, I don't need him. I mean, I'll do it on my own. If that's your attitude, then is it a Black man not wanting to be with you? Because you had a man, you left him. Or is it you're leaving him? So you're then coming from under the covering. You're then rejecting the protection. You're rejecting the covering. So is it that Black men don't want to cover you, or you are removing yourself from the protection, right? Because the hierarchy, listen, you don't have to believe in this. You don't. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. The hierarchy is God, Jesus, man, woman, women, and children. That's the hierarchy. Whether you agree to that or believe in it or not, that's what it is. So, I mean, I think, to answer your question, that's what's happening, Vince. And then I'll push back a little bit on Joe, something that you said about you're not sure, just looking at the circumstances, you're not sure if men were the sole, or I would say, how did you say it? You don't know if men are necessarily the main reason, or were first to walk away, or were first. I would say that I think that the reason why I will put a heavier weight on men is simply because of that hierarchy and of the fact that you guys are the leaders. You're not only supposed to be the leaders in the community, but spiritually, you are our covering, both physically and spiritually. You are our covering. So when you are not in your position, you can see what happens. I mean, you guys are seeing what's happening, right? So we can say, oh, women. But of all the things that you guys are saying Black men have improved, there is one area where Black men still need more improvement, and that's leadership. And if y'all don't think that Black men need improvement in this area of leadership, then you're not paying attention. You're not. Because you always want to talk about the minority of men. But if we're talking about Black men, like the stat that Beatboxer just gave us, if we're saying that Black men are still marrying, and there's that there are more Black men married than Black women, those Black men are more of them are married to Black women. They're married to Black women. So there is still, I will say this, I've said this before, I'll say this again. There is still this population of Black women that are standing at the helm, ready to be led, ready to follow, ready to support. The problem is a lot of Black men are hyper-focused and hyper-fixated on the Black women who are loud, ignorant, and wrong. And because you're hyper-fixated on her, the minority, you're hyper-fixated on her, loud, ignorant, and wrong. Because see, we keep talking about these stats, but what the stats don't tell us is if Black men are married more than Black women, right? Then we have to count those women that they're married to. The majority of them are married to Black women. So they're in 2-parent homes raising kids. See, those kids, there's girls mixed up in those numbers. They're being raised by 2 parents. Something that y'all love touting is that's the cure, right? A 2-parent home. We cannot ignore the generations that are coming after us. We keep hyper-fixating on the women that are loud, ignorant, and wrong. Meanwhile, where is the leadership for the women that are coming after? Where is the leadership? Who's going to lead my daughter if I have a daughter? Who's gonna lead her?
I do agree with you on that, Coco. I think
Who's going to lead her? I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like,
That's
we're
why it's
so
over.
fixated on what women aren't doing. I just want to make sure that while y'all said y'all improving, that y'all improving on the most important thing that we need men for, and that's leadership. And if you're not improving in that area, then y'all waiting for the girls to come back. These women that y'all talking about, remember, we already said it's over for them. It's over for them, right? They're done. So what do we do about the others? Do
It's
we
over for them too.
we just leave them kind of out
It's
there
over,
hanging?
it's over for them
I
too.
don't.
It's
Let
over
me
for
say
them too.
something, Coco. Let me say something. I don't think it's the minority of. I think the majority of women are loud, ignorant,
Ooh.
Yes.
and unsubmissive.
How do
And
we
Yes.
the
know
reason,
that?
let me
Yes.
prove a
How do we
point.
know that?
Hold on a second. Let me prove a
Man,
point.
we've been around a
Because
lot of
Hold on,
women.
Joe. Hold on, Joe.
Let me
Let
finish.
Vince
Let
go
me
ahead. Post.
finish.
Go ahead, Vince.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Men do not praise fools. You rarely hear successful men talking about Lil Wayne is his mentor, idol, or whatever. Black women had Megan Thee Stallion at a black woman's presidential race. If you say, what are the leading black women musicians? And we have to say music because somebody made a very good point that music is the pattern of our lives. Like in the 60s, they had Motown, you had love music. You had, you know, I want to be in love. I want to raise a family. Oh yeah. We live that. Now we live in, most of these women is living sexy red. From the hoe to the attorney to the social worker, all of them. So what I'm saying is your daughter probably won't have a problem because she's going to be raised to be a woman and a respectable wife, and a man will find her. So I don't think that they have the problems. It's just these other women that it's over for, because men who are successful do not have problems getting wives. You rarely hear a man 6 figures, 6 foot, attractive say, "Oh man, I'm having so many problems finding a wife." You don't hear that. They're married. You hear women who are attractive, educated, yada yada yada, piss in the swimming pool. You don't hear that from successful men. Why? Because we will go out and find the woman that fits us and settle for her. Women
Let me
have.
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, because this was about leadership, and this was about a very specific point that I made. And the point that I made was, men are talking a lot about they're waiting for women to come to the table. They're waiting for women to turn around. They're waiting for women to work on these things. And I said, and I'm gonna stand on this, because men cannot put themselves in this position where they're saying that they're working on these things and they're getting themselves together. I said, and I'm gonna ask it again. Do you feel like, in general, because we can talk about the people that's loud and wrong, because there's a lot of loud, wrong, ignorant men on this internet too. A lot of them. And some of them have platforms, very big ones. So while we want to talk about the women that's getting on here and they got Sexy Red for idol and they got Cardi B for idol, we can talk about the dudes that's getting on here. And they got some of these clowns with microphones as their idols and their mentors.
But those
And
are
I'm
not.
gonna say again.
I agree with you. I agree.
I'm
We
gonna
do
say
need to work on.
again.
I agree with you. We need to work on leadership. I definitely believe that there needs to be a process for men to put your head down and grind and get yourself together. Yes, I do believe that.
Because my point is this. Is I feel like we're forgetting about the ones who would benefit from leadership, who are looking for leadership, who desire leadership, who need leadership. I feel like there's this gap because we are hyper fixated on the ones who are not interested. They have no plans of coming back inside. They're not interested. We've already established that it's over for them. So
And
as
that's the
men,
majority.
so as
The
for
majority
so as
is over.
men, But women are being born every day.
Yeah, the majority of them is over.
Every day.
The majority of them is
Men
over.
are being born every day. We're not talking about the 40-year-old five baby daddies.
It's over for those 16-year-old girls too. It's over for them too. It's over. It is over. I'm sorry. We got to be honest. It's over for most of these. Most of these women out here are disrespectful, mean, argumentative. I'm not leading that. You got me messed up. I'm not going to be one of these black men who go.
Y'all name some names. Y'all name some names. You name some names. Since you want me to name some names, you name some.
Oh, you're talking on the comments.
Because I'm not the only one that has the burden of proof here. You name some names.
I'm just saying, black men in general. We're not gonna go into.
And let's leave celebrities out of this. Let's leave celebrities out of this because we already know they're a non-factor. We talking about average.
Let me say this because I hear a couple issues. And I saw a couple issues in the video. I think one of the first things as I'll just say a black community, because technically we can't even call it that. Yeah, black folks, we don't really move in no community. We do individual. But I'm just going to use that for the conversation. So first thing I will say as the black community, one of the most important things that we need to do is we need to redefine what it means to be successful. Yeah, that's the first thing. Yeah, we've fallen into this rut where we want to define successful as just somebody having a whole bunch of money. Yeah, but just because you got money, that don't make you successful. Yeah, we just watched a video of a K Michelle, who she's got a couple dollars, sitting next to a Cam Newton, which he's got a couple dollars. And we have K Michelle defining Cam as a successful black man. But in the same breath, you have men defining him as a pookie and a bum. So we've got a lady saying that he's a successful black man. So essentially he's the template of how other black men need to move and what they need to strive for. But then on the flip side, some of the black men who quote unquote consider themselves successful are calling him a bum. And they saying he a pookie. Then that same type of man, once again, that K Michelle is calling successful, is currently right now. I said, I don't know all of his back history, but I already know he's got some other baby moms and some other kids. But currently, at least from what I could see, he's with this young lady, Jasmine. They had a kid. He didn't get married to her. I think now she's pregnant again, and he still ain't got married to her. So he's made no commitment to this lady yet, but she's laid up with him twice. So see, I think this is one of the issues. We're defining certain people as successful and pegging them as the person that a woman would go after because he's got money. But then he's lacking character, he's lacking standards, he's lacking morals. But we put him in a position to be the blueprint or to be the template for everybody else to strive to and follow. And we also create him as the blueprint for women to seek. Mm-hmm. Yep, and morally, spiritually, leadership-wise, all of that is non-existent. But that's the guy that we push the ladies to, or the ladies push themselves towards. So that's the first thing. I think we need to redefine what success is. And we cannot just purely define somebody or label somebody as being successful just because they got some money. Yep, drug dealers can get money. Scammers can get money.
To be fair.
Like counterfeiters can make money in the basement with the right printer and the right paper. But that person, that don't make them successful, and that definitely don't make them the person that should be your baby daddy.
Agreed.
Yeah, but I'm continuing to see women in my community repeatedly lay up with these same whack dudes just because they got a couple dollars. Like I said, Beatboxer ran down K Michelle's resume of dudes, and ain't nobody of substance or quality on that boy at all. Yeah, we can go sit down and run down Cam Newton's resume of women. Ain't no quality up on through that boy either. But these are the people that we look up to and we idolize. Yep, this is the guy that the women are tingling for. Yep, this better yet, this is the woman that the dudes is tingling for. Yeah, but she's willing to lay up with the wrong guy when it comes to creating a family and having a family. So that's the first thing, man. We gotta redefine that. Yeah, the stuff that we call successful today is really not what we need to be calling successful. We got to get up off this money. This money got us. This money got us twisted out here. Yeah, it's like for some reason when money come up, it's like everybody get dumb. And I'm like, what happened to your morals and standards? So just because my man's sitting on a million, all that go out the window. Yeah, it's like you talking about bringing a kid into the world. So money is not enough. That's not enough of a basis to bring a child into the world. And the same thing for the fellas. You have some thighs, some hips, some cakes, some chest. That's not enough. That's not enough to bring a kid in the world. So, man, like I said, we got to get some of this stuff together, man. Second thing K. Michelle said, she said that the black men got to step up for black women. My response to that would be, why? Just keeping it real. Yeah, with some of the stuff that's going on out here today, and this is to all the ladies out here, with some of the stuff that's going on out here today within the female space, these dudes not about to step up for that. Yeah, let's just be honest. They're not going to step up for that. Yeah, the same way that ladies will say, I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that because this dude is falling short here. He ain't got this, he ain't got that. It's the same for men. Yeah, we looking from certain things from women, just like y'all looking from certain things from men. If you ain't got it, ain't nobody stepping up. And it's the same way on the other side. If the woman ain't got it, ain't nobody stepping up. Yeah, so I don't know why we expect the opposite sex to just look past all this nonsense that we seeing on a day-to-day basis. And don't get me wrong, Coco made a valid point. Yeah, we do put a lot of visibility on the folks that's just loud and wrong out here. Yeah, but on the flip side of that, the people who are right and correct need to speak up. Yeah, that's the other issue. Yeah, the ladies who are moving like women, who know how to carry themselves, who know how to go to an interview on the Cam Newton show and put some clothes on and not have your areolas in his face. Those women, y'all need to be more vocal. Y'all need to increase your presence on social media so that everything is not sexy red. Some of this stuff can just be Jacqueline, and it can be Brenda, and it can be Kelly.
Right.
But see, y'all quiet out here. Yep, and that's part of the reason why y'all don't get what y'all looking for, because y'all too quiet. Can't nobody see you. So you got to think about that.
I
can't argue with that.
Quay, I gotta push.
It's all good.
I gotta push back just a little on that, because the problem is women understand that these women are not going to listen. You have female social influencers and that have quit their jobs because they just was like, forget it. These women are not going to listen. At least with men, they will listen and try to change. Most of them. If they know they're in a bad place, they will at least be quiet enough to listen to Deacon Jenkins past the somersault. You know what I'm saying? They will at least listen and make, yeah, Pastor, yeah, you're right. Let me think about it. These women nowadays are so defensive, so ready to argue, so ready to turn it around, so ready to call you sassy, gay. You must not be happy. What you sitting up here talking to women for? Your wife, you probably got your wife locked in the basement somewhere. She ain't happy for real. I'm serious, Coco. She ain't happy for real. All that smiling, y'all just putting on the front. Y'all. That's why Remy do, and she's done. She like, look, I got my happiness. I got my kids, and I know these women are not going to listen. I'll be wasting my time. But see, I'm different. I got a heart for people, and I'm trying to really help because I got mine too. But these women are not going to listen, and I don't. And the reason why they're not going to listen because this society promotes and protects their foolishness. Men don't have a safety net. We can't get up here after 15 years of being in a relationship, then say, "Oh, I was abused and I couldn't leave, and I want $100 million." Well, he groomed her. She was scared. I thought this was 2025, not 1805. Oh well, yeah, she left him, but he had her mind controlled.
10 years.
It's over.
We can't do that.
It's over. It's over, bro. It's over.
It'll just be like, hey, y'all got to figure it out. It's men. So until and this society won't do it because there's too many financial incentives for women to not be with their men. They the ones talking about money. It's not really men talking about money. It's women who push this 6-figure thing.
Yeah.
If you ask 10 women what they want, 9 of them, the first 3 things is going to be money. Men's first 3 things are not going to be money. It's going to be fine, cooperative, submissive, good mother, and maybe 7 or 8 down the line, it's going to be talking about some money. And that's the problem. And until we realize that, it's not going to change. And we just have to be honest with it. I think we need, and I wish that we could talk to more younger people, because I think they're the ones that have a hope. I'm gonna say maybe 25 and younger, especially women.
Yeah, but even
but these
that
old
though,
bras, it's over. It's I can't. I don't, because there's too many of them, and they all have the same playbook. They all, yeah. My grandmother stayed with granddaddy because he was beating her.
So yeah, so I understand what you've been saying. So there, Vince, what you're saying, there's some validity there, right? It is getting harder, because I do see it is getting harder to talk to women when it comes to these particular situations, right? Because they've taken on this position that you can't tell them nothing. They know it all, right? Even though they're not getting what they want, they've taken on this position. They know it all. But I think in that particular scenario, I think we still have to push it regardless, because there's still a minority of women who is listening. But see, like I said, we don't know that because they're not being vocal. Yeah, they just watching quietly. Yeah, they just paying attention and making changes, but they not back on social media. So see, you don't get the instant feedback. Yeah, you feel like, nothing's working, right? It typically comes different. Yeah, but I'll say it this way. It typically will come through, you say what you say, you drop the gem in the conversation, right? And then somebody reaches out a couple days later. Hey, I heard what y'all was talking about. That had me thinking. Maybe I need to go about this a little different because I've been running into that. That's what it looks like. Yeah, it don't look like what we see on social media where, these ladies sitting up on a panel talking about this, that, this. It don't look like that. So the change can still happen. There's still women listening. But the response and the feedback just doesn't look the same as to, in comparison to what we see on social media from the loud and wrong folks. And for me, for that reason, because I've experienced that feedback a couple days later, for that reason, I'm gonna keep trying to do my part. Yeah, because see, the one thing that we can't do is just fully tap out, because what that would mean is essentially we go extinct. Yeah, but I don't think that's anybody's ultimate goal. But most folks haven't thought that far down the line because we too busy bucking. Yep, going back to, the K. Michelle video again, she said black men just out here attacking black women. And I'm like, see, once again, your statement lacks accountability. We attacking each other.
Right.
Yeah, we in these podcast streets, these YouTube streets, and folks just going at it. One day the fellas talking about the ladies is trash. The next day the women talking about the fellas is trash. And then the day after that, somebody pregnant. And you like, wait a minute. I thought we was just, I thought we was attacking each other. Like, I thought you was trash, I was trash. So what you mean you on your second baby? Like, so see, it's a lot of cap mixed up in there as well. It's like, I can tell we just lashing out at each other. Because even with all this attacking and fighting that we doing right now, we still laying up. Yeah, we still popping babies left and right. Folks still going up in clinics left and right. Folks still talking about daddy ain't in the home left and right. Folks still, you know, dudes still talking about mama got me on child support. She ain't ish left and right. So even with all of this attacking, alleged attacking we doing and doing all of this and doing all that, for some reason, we still able to lay up. Go ahead, Coco. What you want to say?
I mean, I guess I just don't understand how y'all don't see that's a problem amongst men. Like, I just don't see how y'all don't see that's a problem. Like, so I've already talked about a female holding her. So we're not doing that, because I've already talked about the accountability that a woman should hold, how she needs to close her legs, how she needs to understand reproductive and take care of her own reproductive health. I make no excuses for a woman's part in this. None, not one. I make no excuses. I didn't make any excuses for women and what they need to be doing to protect themselves from winding up as baby mamas. I make no excuses for that, because for me personally, I feel like the burden is on the woman. I feel like that's just my personal belief is you should be more concerned about, you know, if you're not ready to be a mom, you should be more concerned about making sure that you don't become a mother. And I don't mean abortion, because there's too many things you can do before you get to that point. So from my personal perspective, I feel like as a woman, that is your job to secure that. That's your job. Okay. That's how I feel about that. But on the flip side of that, I just feel like men love touting the fact that it's the minority of men, right? Y'all love saying that. Oh, well, it's the minority of men. Well, it's the minority of men. But these men are your uncles, your cousins, your friends, your coworkers. You know these men. You probably even have a couple of them in your circle. You know these men. So when I talk about leadership, what do y'all think that is? What do y'all think leadership is? Like, do you think that so I'm supposed to talk to my girlfriends, right? Because y'all have literally asked me this. Well, what do y'all say to girls when, you know, they're you know, when they out here like this, or do y'all talk to your girlfriends? Do y'all ever say anything? Do y'all ever check them about their behavior? Do y'all ever?
You can't say you can't say
do you ever check your friends about their behavior? Your cousins, your uncles, your brothers, do y'all ever check them about their behavior? Do y'all ever have that conversation? Because Vince said that y'all will listen. Ben will listen. Vince said that the deacon, bishop, elder, minister, pastor could talk to the men, and the men will listen. That's what he said. So is it that y'all are not having the conversations with these pookies, or y'all not having the conversations with the wayward men, or y'all just say it's over for them too, or
it's over for them too.
It's over for them too. So okay, so it's over for them. So we're not gonna hold them accountable. We're not gonna try to talk to them. We're not gonna try to and it's over for the women. We're not gonna. So Nia, I mean, what's the point? Why we even?
I don't hang out with cookies. So
hold on, be back. I'm gonna say
what we doing then? Shut it down. Everybody go home.
The difference with men is that they know it's over. That's the difference. They know. You know what? I got 7 kids. I'm not gonna be able to get. Wait a minute. Let me finish, Coco. Let me finish. Let me finish. They know it's over. So they will go find a woman that will accept them 7 kids. She might not be the cutest. She might have 5 kids, and they'll put it together and go on down the road, or he'll go live in a 1-bedroom apartment somewhere and die alone. He ain't gonna sit up here talking about it's women's fault. It's pissed in the swimming pool. He gonna say, you know what? I messed up. I left that good woman, and I'm just gonna go over here and die. And he ain't gonna ask for no help. He just gonna be over there and
That's
die.
not what they
That's
doing.
let me
Ben.
finish. Let me finish, Coco. That's the difference. Women are delusional.
Men
They'll
don't
sit
do
up
that
here.
though.
Let me
Ben.
finish. Yeah, that is.
Mhm.
That's not true.
My mama
It's
was
true.
delusional. My
That's not
mama was 60 years old talking about she gonna get her man with some money. I said, Mama, have you looked at yourself? You on diabetes, you got COPD, you need to find Larry who walking up and down the street. Oh, he ain't got enough money for me. He ain't. That's the difference, Coco. We understand what we can get and we okay with it. You don't hear men talking about I'm gonna have to settle for her. No, they just gonna get somebody and go move on down the road. That's
That's
you hear
not
more.
for Vince.
You
To
hear
be
more of
fair,
these
that don't have
women.
nothing to do with nothing that I just
Yeah,
said.
it is.
Listen,
Yes, it does. Because the
yes, it
leadership
does.
that
No,
y'all
it
just
does not. No, it
You're
does
let me
you're
ask you a
not.
asking.
question, Coco. Who complains about relationships more? Women. Wait a minute.
Women are always.
Let me preface it. Successful women or successful men? Who complains the most?
So first of all, we already established that we probably need to to do some checks and balances with what we now consider success. But I will also say women are always going to be the bigger complainers because we're always in our feelings about something. So that we'll always win that prize. We'll always take home that trophy. Women are always going to complain before a man complains. So it's no point in even going back and forth about that. We already know that a woman she's gonna complain. Women are gonna complain. Okay. So sitting that to the side, because that's not even where I was going with this. What I'm saying is, at what point do we understand that the thing that you guys are, you're complaining about, there is some room for improvement. You guys are complaining about these things, but there's room for improvement with you guys as well in this particular circumstance. To sit up and say that all of it's on women and it's all the women and you're just waiting for the women to get it together, but you guys out of your own mouths are saying that basically it's over for the men. You're not holding them accountable.
No.
You're not holding them accountable. So then what? So when I asked you, are you talking to them about their behavior? When I asked you what happens when y'all know that the Pookie is your best friend? What happens when y'all know that the Pookie is your cousin or your brother or your uncle?
I'm gonna answer that.
Now,
I can't
when
answer
you
Let
are
B,
about,
hold
when you are
on.
about,
Let me let B-Boss respond. Let me let B-Boss respond to Coco. Go ahead, B-Boss.
Okay, so most men that are successful or decent people, we don't hang out with Pookie.
Y'all
So
hanging out
that's
with Pookie.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not hanging out with Pookie. And let me be very clear.
Y'all are Pookie adjacent.
It's not my job. It's not my job
Yeah.
to tell another man something, especially if the issue is women are allowing to have sex with, they're allowing it. Why am I going to tell Pookie, hey, stop having sex with 10, 20 women? What Pookie gonna look crazy at me? He's gonna be like, I don't know what you talking about.
So we're not holding people accountable then.
How am I gonna hold Pookie accountable if he's doing what he wants to do?
How we gonna hold women accountable then?
Oh my God! How am I gonna do that? What am I gonna do?
How we gonna hold women accountable then?
Because
How we
they
gonna
be
do that?
allowing this.
How we gonna do that then? If we don't hold grown people accountable for their behavior when they go
It's not my
left,
job.
then what do we do?
It's not black men's
Whose
job to
job
save
is
the
it? Then what do
community
we do?
all the time. It's
So
not
whose
our
job is it?
job. It's
Whose
not our
job is it?
That's not leadership. That's being a simp. That's not my
Whose
job.
job is it to hold somebody accountable? Is being a simp?
Yeah, I'm not
Now we
saving.
redefining that too.
I'm not saving younger people, older. I'm not doing none of that. That's not my job. That's not any black man's job. That's not leadership. That's not leadership.
So basically, we're not. So what are we doing? Okay. So what are we doing here? What are we having and I'm being genuine. What are we having the conversations for night after night, week after week, if we are not trying to bring the issues to the forefront in an attempt to hold those who have gone left accountable and call them out for the error in their behavior? What are we doing then? Because I thought the point was we bring them to the front of the congregation so that we can hold them accountable for the flaws in their thinking, for their erroneous mindsets. We have these conversations so that we can, kind of, hey, you're delusional. You're delusional. Like,
here we go.
what are we doing? Like, what are we doing though, for real? Because if we're not, if the goal is not to attempt to hold someone accountable so that at some point somebody stops and rethinks or corrects or makes a change, or you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's not the goal, then what is it? Because why? What's the why? Then if that's the case, then we should do what everybody else is saying and put the microphones down there. What are we doing here? If we feel like it's not our job to hold people accountable, if we feel like it's not our job to call them to the front of the congregation, then what are we doing? What are we doing? Men and women. I'm not just talking about men and women. What are we doing then?
As Diamond said, you're saying
I want to ask you a question, Coco. I have a friend that we've been friends since we were 19. We met our sophomore year of college. We've been friends for over 30 something years. We don't hang out anymore because we really don't have anything in common. So I'm hanging out with my family. He doesn't have a family. So we talk about basketball, but we not sit up here, going on guy trips and going out to eat, and he complaining to me about women. I'm saying, yeah, bro. Yeah, man, you deserve a good woman. No, he don't. And I tell him, you got 7 baby mamas. What you think you gonna get? And you know what he do? Yeah, man, you right. So he went out there and got that overweight woman with 4 or 5 kids that's in the same boat he in. He got him a little. He a senior. He done went up there and found him somebody at work that's a senior, and they go put their broken lives together. Women will not do that. They'll have 7 kids and think, oh, well, I want to marry somebody who ain't got no kids. Or I want to marry somebody who's emotionally intelligent. They won't say, you know what? I fucked up my chances. So I'm going to have to go over there on that used car lot and find the best thing running. I don't care if it got 300,000 miles because I got to get to work. They'll go over there to the new car dealership and expect for the new car dealer to change the requirements.
You say that, Vince, and you believe that, and I believe you believe that, okay? But we just had this conversation last week. Was it last week? It was last week or week before. And there were men who said, because see, the delusion is on both sides. I appreciate the fact that you said something to my man. Like, what do you think? Like but that's what I'm saying.
You know it.
But that's what I'm saying. When I say, are you having these conversations with men? That's what I mean. I'm obviously not saying as a man, you're going to tell this man what to do. But I'm saying, are you having these conversations where it's just common sense conversations? That's what I'm saying. Okay, so this is what I mean, right? And I'm supposed to be having these conversations with the female pookies that I know, right? But my point is this: the delusion is on both sides, right? We just had this conversation where men were saying that it is not advisable for them as men to get with a woman that has children, right? They were saying, just don't do it. If she is single baby mama, just don't do it, right?
I didn't agree with that.
I'm not saying you said it, but there were men that were saying that, right? They were even saying, even if they have a child, that they still would not entertain the single baby mama. So they will fall in that category of the woman on the other side of the delusion saying, well, I mean, he can't have no kids. I know I got 4 kids, but he can't have no kids. You see the foolery, the nonsense. So we have women saying what they not going to take and what they not going to deal with, even though they themselves, basically, you can't get that boo-boo kitty because that's not your value. That's not your lane. But then you have a man who's also trying to say he wants something or deserves something that's not his lane either. Because from my personal purview, if you're a single dad, then you should be getting with another single woman. You shouldn't be single parent mom. You shouldn't be expecting a woman who ain't got no kids and ain't never had no kids. You shouldn't be over here saying what you deserve and she should be willing to deal with your kids. And you see what I'm saying? The delusion, it's the audacity is on discount.
But see, I don't believe you get what you deserve. I believe you get what you earn. So yeah, there are some men who out here that can go out there and have as many kids as they want and still get a woman that don't have no kids. Like it's some beautiful women that can have a bunch of kids and still get a successful man every time. Back to back to back. They drop one, get another one. But that's the minority. That's the minority.
Right.
Sierra is the minority. Most men, you know, and Nick Cannon and Cam, they're the minority. So we're going to speak to the majority. I believe if you got kids, you be with somebody with some kids. But some men can and some women can. We're not talking. The majority of women are delusional. The majority of men are not delusional. We get what we earn and what we qualify for. Y'all will sit up. Most of these women will sit up here 70 pounds overweight.
I don't disagree with a woman's delusion. Don't disagree with that. But all I'm saying is, after having so many of these conversations, we've been clear about a woman's delusion. Okay, we're clear on that, right? But what we after having some of these conversations, though, I'm starting to see delusion on the rise amongst the male population. The male population is getting more and more delusional by the day.
And what is that delusion? What is that
Just
delusion looking like to you?
I mean, it's delusional for you to think what I just said. That whole conversation.
You know what? Let me hold on. Let me respond. No. Hold on, JR. Hold on, JR. Hold on. Let me respond to Joe.
To have a single woman.
JR.
Because
JR. Hold on a minute. JR.
No, hold on. Go on.
Hold on, JR. Hold on a minute. I don't want this to pass up. I'm gonna let you rock. Just give me a sec. I just want to respond to something that Joe just said, because I think we need to touch this because we keep glossing over it. So, Joe, you said, what does the delusion look like for men? Is that how you said that?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me respond to that. In its simplest form, the delusion for men looks like doing what we're doing today and thinking everything is going to be okay. Yeah, that's about as delusional as it gets. Let me paint this quick picture, because Coco makes a valid point. We've had a few conversations around the different topics. I said we 4 years, 5 years in at this point, right? We got fellas out here going around busting down chicks they know they shouldn't be busting down raw, getting upset after the chick pop up talking about she pregnant. That's delusional, because at some point, if you busting chicks down raw that you already know you ain't got no true feelings for, you wasn't gonna commit to, you wasn't planning on marrying, if you busting her down raw and she come back telling you she pregnant, that's delusional. Because if you raw dogging everybody, at some point, a baby gonna pop out of somebody. That is delusional. Yep, the second thing is going around interacting with chicks that you know ain't about nothing, thinking that everything is gonna be okay afterward. That is delusional. You knew before you even bust her down. You knew when you was checking her out that she was halfway off. But you thought she was thick. You thought she was a little cute. She was talking that little stuff to you, and you went on and fell right in. And then after the ish hits the fan afterward, then you want to be upset. That's delusional. So to Coco's point, there's a lot of delusional stuff that dudes is out here doing. And then when it backfires and blows up in your face, this kid pop out, She got you on papers. They garnishing your paycheck. They doing all type of stuff. You itching. You at the clinic. You got to get a shot. Go down the list. She keying your car. Go down the list. Then you want to come back and just say that's the minority of men, and it's not.
Just because you ain't have a baby.
There is a whole bunch of men doing this nonsense. It's broke men doing it. It's average men doing it. It's rich men doing it. It's successful men doing it. We just looked at Cam Newton. He doing it right now. Yeah, it is delusional. Yep, and this is some of the stuff as men we gotta own. Yep, I say this and I'll continue to say it. Just because a chick is there don't mean you gotta bust it down. Yep, and that's part of our problem. It's like when there's some when there's some cheeks around, it's like we get weak. It's almost like we can't think all of a sudden. It's almost like there ain't no repercussions. There can't be no kickback. Like it's always gonna be some repercussions. Because you shouldn't have been busting her down in the first place. Yep, then we'll go get with a chick. We'll have a kid. We'll go get with another chick who ain't got no kids and then go bust her down. Yep, and not commit to her. So now we got a second one with our kid. No commitment to either one of the chicks. But then we'll come out and we'll get to talking about this is just the minority, and it's not just the minority. This is a lot of dudes. Now, what I will say is what dudes will typically do in these scenarios, while we can say that we don't hang with these pookies, we typically will just distance ourselves. But a lot of dudes ain't saying nothing to these dudes. We just gonna come back with the response of she should have picked better. But we ain't saying nothing to these dudes. We gonna see my man over here bumming and pookieing out. We gonna be like, yeah, all right, my man on that garbage. And we just gonna go the other way. But ain't nobody saying nothing. Ain't nobody calling my man to the table. That mess ain't happening if we gonna be honest. But man, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I'm at this point, man. I'm at this point. My message to the fellas at this point is just stop sleeping with these chicks. If I sat down and I did the math and I just thought this through, and if fellas just stop sleeping with these females, all this mess will stop. Can't no chick come back blaming nothing on you. Can't no chick put you on no papers. Can't no chick talking about, oh, this is you creating broken families. What K. Michelle said, we creating broken families and all this nonsense. All this stuff would stop if y'all just stop messing with these chicks.
Fortunately.
Yeah, but if you're not about to sit down and commit and marry a chick and create a family, and I'm just be honest with it, the proper way, then leave these other chicks alone. Yep, can't nobody use you as a scapegoat, because that's another thing that men don't think about. A lot of these chicks out here, they use y'all as a scapegoat. Yeah, they out here making these bad decisions, and they just point it right back at you. Oh, it's because he did this to me. Oh, it's because he, you listen to the verbiage. Oh, because he got me pregnant. Oh, because he knocked me up. If fellas just cut all that mess out and stop sleeping with these chicks all the way together, all that mess stops. But see, the problem is I don't think we capable of doing that. Based on what I see out here, we too weak. Yeah, we at the point now, we don't even know how to say no. We don't even know how to turn it down. We'll accept it from a chick we know we shouldn't even be touching. But we'll accept it. I think we've even said it on here, dudes, they'll smash anything. They'll hit anything. That's a problem. A dude should never be in a position where he'll smash anything or hit anything. That's a weak dude. But that's how a lot of us think. Just because it's there, I got to take it, I got to do it. And that'd be our downfall in the end.
I agree with you on that point, but it would take 90% of men to do that for it to be effective.
So then that's what.
No. Let me finish. So, because it's a small minority of men popular, so it would take 90% of men. It would only take 60% of women to do that. You see, are you getting it? So that's 80% of that's not going to happen with 90% of men. So let's just try to get the 60% of women because it's a lot lower percentage. You won't get a successful man having multiple baby mamas on the average. He'll have one wife and an ex-wife. So what I'm saying is we got to look at reality and what the numbers are. Most men don't have kids out of wedlock. Most men, successful men, and that doesn't mean money. That means a man who is on his purpose and is on his plan and they can take care of himself and whoever he brings into the world. That's success.
And you think that the
let me
majority of
finish.
men are that? You actually believe
No.
that just because they don't have a child, okay,
let me finish,
the stat is about the majority of men not having children. So you think that because they don't have a kid, that the majority of those men that don't, just because they haven't knocked the woman up, then you think that they fit the profile that you just gave, right? Because I'm okay with your definition, but then you think that the majority of men fit that profile. You actually believe that.
I said the majority of successful men. See, we got to change the narrative. Men, let me finish, Coco. Men who are successful don't talk about hoes. We going to let hoes be hoes. We ain't trying to change no hoes. See, the women the ones trying to change the pookies. Leave the pookies out of the equation. Just go for the man you want. Why talk about a Honda when you want a Mercedes? I hate always using that, but it's very accurate. Why talk about a Honda when you want a Mercedes? Men who are successful don't talk about the bitches at the strip club. They don't talk about hoes. They go find them a wife. So we have to differentiate what we're talking about.
But they sleep.
So let me finish. So
with the hoes.
I see more women who are claiming to be successful complaining about a man. I don't really see men who are successful worried about a woman. They'll go find one.
Women gonna complain though. We already okay.
I said complain about relationships.
Established that women are going to complain. It doesn't matter if they're successful or not. Women are going to complain. But we established that, right? We established that because women are always in their feelings, so they always got something to complain about. So successful, non-successful, even married women gonna complain. So we talking about complaining, then that's just gonna always be a problem.
You missed them all. I'm talking about complaining about relationships. Men don't really complain about relationships. We don't. We don't complain. Y'all, yeah. What? You know what I'm saying? So I understand we're talking about something, and I'm usually very even. And I'm usually very even.
The reason why y'all not gonna complain about relationships is because y'all are in the driver's seats when it comes to relationships. That's why y'all not. Let's literally talk about that. The reason why y'all not gonna complain about relationships is because y'all in the driver's seats when it comes to relationships. That's why y'all don't complain. Because at the end of the day, there is no relationship if you don't say there's one. So at the end of the day, men are in the driver's seat. So women are always in a position where we're going to complain about it because we don't like that there isn't one. We don't like the way it's going. We don't like something about the relationship. We're going to complain because we're not the ones in the driver's seat. We don't have control over that particular part. Y'all have control over that part. So of course, we're going to be the ones complaining all the time. So I feel like that's not really a fair comparison. Because the position that y'all play in relationships puts y'all in the power position. Now, y'all, this is a male YouTube talking point. Women, we control the cheeks. Y'all control the relationship. Let y'all tell it, right? That's the talking point, right? So that leaves us in a position of we gonna complain about it. Because if y'all not doing what we feel we want y'all to do in a relationship, or y'all not giving us a relationship where we want one, then we're going to complain. That's why we're complaining and you're not, right? That addresses that point. But I didn't want to overtalk because I know JR wanted to say something. He didn't get a chance.
Let him rock. Go ahead and let him rock. JR, come on off, man.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Price. Yeah, on my end, sometimes people in the panel coming in and out.
No, it's all good, man. It's all yours. Go ahead.
On my end. Yeah, now I'm just gonna go off obviously Miss Coco's most recent point, right? I do understand what you're saying about men hold the keys to the relationship, right? And the thing is, men are echoing that, hey, we are doing this the wrong way. Most men are vocal about this, that we are doing this the wrong way. But somehow, listen to what I'm saying. If I say, hey, we are doing this the wrong way, that does not benefit me as a man because I do not get sex. It benefits me if I lie. But I'm saying, hey, if we're having sex after the relationships, it doesn't benefit me. So I'm saying the fact that we're having sex after the relationship, both parties are in the wrong. But how about if we reverse it? Let's get into a relationship first, because that's what women want. Men want to be in relationships. Men want to be in relationships. If men could find one good woman and just be, chilling and go about their life, hey, most men are gonna do that. But like I said, because sex is readily available, we understand it's going to be sex, it's going to be a situationship, and then eventually it's gonna get into a relationship, and then you're gonna get married. That's just how the game is today, Miss Coco. That's just how it is. But like I said, men are being vocal and saying, hey, this is wrong. Now, I understand the argument of what Mr. Price did say, like, don't be, collecting everything along the way. That's the argument there, right? That men shouldn't engage. So that's a big, obviously, conversation to have as to men to disengage. Cool. Let's say we agree with that men stop having sex with the women. From there, how do we get on to the next point to obviously bring it back together? Where men, so there's no more sex. What's the next stage from there for both parties? Where we're not going to point fingers no more.
Well, the next step is, it would start with conversation. See, right now, a lot, this sex is driving a lot of things. See, that's part of the problem. But it starts with conversation and engagement and being intentional. Yeah, that's where it's supposed to start, not with the physicality. Yeah, but see, that's what we've turned it to. Because I said, to your point, JR, a lot of dudes do want to be in relationships, but at the same time, we don't want to own the fact that a lot of us is out here damaging the prospects. Yeah, it's like you can't go out here and keep busting down females, right, that you're not trying to be serious with. So you bust them down. Let's just say they pop up with a child, right? Then that same man will come back and say he don't want to entertain her now. So if we want to be in relationships, then our goal should not be to bust down all the chicks. Yeah, it's like you knocking all your prospects out the gate. Yeah, because we already know that essentially, let's just be honest. Most dudes, we already know, is looking for the cleanest, untouched female he can find. Now, we do understand as we get older, people going to have bodies on them and they're going to have experiences on them and all of that. So those prospects of finding that woman who ain't been all over the place, it gets less and less and less. But at the core of it, most dudes still feel the same way. If they're looking for a woman, especially when they start talking about committing and settling down and starting a family and taking care of somebody, like Vince said, we looking for a Mercedes. We not running to the Honda with the 300,000 miles on it. Like, let's just keep it a buck. But if we out here creating 300,000 mile Hondas, then when we get to the parking, when we get to the sales lot, what you choosing from, bruh? You done put too many miles on all the cars. Go ahead, JR. Go ahead.
That's I've only had 2 women in my life, man. 2 relationships, man. I ain't been out in the streets, Mr. Price.
Yeah, all the pookies are doing that, Mr. Price.
Please, Mr.
That's the pookies.
Come on,
it's not just pookies. Stop that. It's not just pookies. Stop that. See what I'm saying?
Like
it's
said,
not just pookies out here sleeping with women.
Man,
Just
y'all
because y'all
playing,
can't prove y'all sleep with them because y'all don't have multiple babies don't mean y'all not out here sleeping around. So stop that.
I'm married.
Okay.
I'm married. I ain't sleeping around. I'm married.
It's plenty of successful men who are out here sleeping around because guess what? They can. They can get multiple women. So they're sleeping with multiple women. Successful men actually can probably get more play because they're successful men.
Well,
So it's just like, just because they're not knocking the girls up, they're not knocking all the women up, don't mean they not out there still putting miles on women. They still doing that. That's why when y'all use these stats, is to me, it's slightly disingenuous, right? I don't mind using the stats as like a way for us to conversation starter, a way for us to have, to be able to have the conversation. Like, I'm okay with that, right? Because they're stats, we can use them. But the reason why I always say don't live and die by those is because there's a lot that those stats do not. There's no way we can break all of that down into a stat.
Well, everybody don't participate.
You can't,
so that's
right?
The main thing.
It's not going to be as accurate as you would want it to be. So there's missing information. There's missing context. So all of these successful men, and I'm not saying they are successful men, right? But all of these successful men that got good heads on their shoulders and all this and all that, they still won't say it. They still out here blinking. So it's like, let's just be so for real.
Let me catch this real quick. I don't want this to go right here. So shout out to Victoria Williams in the comments. She's been dropping comments tonight. Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight. So she said they can. And I think this was in response to the point that you just made, that these successful dudes can do this stuff. So my question, Victoria, is why? Yeah, I'm about to flip sides for a minute. So if we talking about these dudes, busting these females down, out here, creating these kids and how we want to present it, why are women still laying up with these bum cats? Like, drop a comment, let me know. Why are women still lining up for the Cam Newtons? Yeah, just adding to his list of women. Yeah, why are ladies lining up to be with Nick Cannon, having his kids left and right with no commitment, no marriage, no nothing? Like, why are women still doing that? If we know that it's pookies out here, if we know that it's dudes bumming, if we know that dudes ain't committing, they ain't starting to, trying to have no serious families, they ain't trying to, put no rings on no fingers, why are women still laying up with these bum cats?
I think I got a theory.
Yeah, drop a comment for me, Victoria, and then I'm going to come to you, Joe. Drop a comment for me, Victoria. I'm just curious to see what you say about that. Go ahead, Joe.
So, 3 things. They do it for opportunity.
Okay.
Security. The security is the finances. And then there's just that raw, that primal instinct that every woman has. You see someone like a Cam Newton, everyone knows what he looks like. He's 6'5". He doesn't need the money. The money is a bonus. So this is mindset that it's the money that this woman is. It's part of it. But I can tell you, just speaking for myself, me having been broke, being confused myself. Why are these women, they $200,000 a year? I'm barely making $20,000-$30,000 a year. No, I don't care about none of that. I just like you. Okay, so it's not really all about the money like they say it is. I'm not saying that's not a factor, but it plays a role into that. And women naturally want security. So if a man who is 6'5", muscular, objectively looks good, handsome, whatever you want to call him, and he has money, a woman will sacrifice a potential family for such a man like that. Likewise, a man would do it with a woman who they know is, I guess you could say, no good, who you know isn't wife material because she looks a certain way. We prioritize beauty, appearance. There's a certain feeling that we get if we have a beautiful woman on our arms in public. It makes us look a certain way. It elevates us to a certain way. And so we may make that, call them a trophy wife. So we'll say, well, she has this, she might not be all that bright, but she has these other qualities that I'm looking for. So both men and women will make sacrifices and compromises. It's not that they're not aware of it. It's not like these women are just going to Cam Newtons and saying they're not dummies. They know what they're doing. They know they have the options of men who don't look like a Cam Newton, who don't have the status or the money of a Cam Newton. They know they can get a man who they can marry, I guess, quote unquote, be happily married ever after. But a lot of women would take that risk and say, well, I'm going to go for the top. He's my type. He's tall. He's dark. He's handsome. He has status. He has money. But he doesn't want to get married and have kids, or he's sleeping around. Okay, I'll make that gamble. And a lot of women take that gamble. So it's just human nature, man. That's just it.
Okay, let me they came back in the comments. Let me see what we got. So see, Victoria said desperate for any form. I think that's of intimacy. Victoria, I'm struggling with this one right here. Because let the ladies tell it, y'all don't need nothing from these dudes. So you saying that these ladies put themselves in a position where they are desperate for intimacy. I don't know about that one. I got questions around that. I got questions around that one right there.
Wait, but you know what? I know she got my last name, but I gotta go hard. That don't even make no sense. A woman can get sex. She can go out to the gas station and get a guy who picking up a can of beer and get sex. I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's money, power, and respect. Women like men who have money and have power, and that's smart. Women really want a man to teach them something, and most men who are successful are smart.
True.
Okay.
So
right,
how many men that women really respect, and they're respected?
Okay, let me keep going. Let's see. She also said, let's see, they like the attention, good or bad. And this right here, once again, is another problem. Yep, us liking attention, good or bad. Yeah, it's just interesting the stuff that we will sacrifice these days for a little bit of nothing. Yeah, a little bit of attention, a couple clicks, couple views. Like, yeah, we got some interesting stuff going on out here. Let me keep going. Let's see. Maria said Nick Cannon is an easy money target for women who prey on entertainers. And like I said, once again, Maria, I can agree he's an easy money target. But once again, as a woman, why are you willing to lay up with some cats? Like, I understand it may come with a couple dollars. And I'm like, if we've gotten to this point where we just desperate for dollars, then that's a problem. Yeah, we literally bringing kids into the world for some dollars. So, I mean, we really got to do some self-reflection if that's the level that we've come to these days, especially in 2025. Like, we don't know better. Let's see. Victoria said, excited of the possibilities. Okay.
What possibilities? What is that?
You know what? The possibilities might be the possible grass may be greener, so she thinks she gonna get a little something good out of it. Probably some material things, some lifestyle changes. However you want to define it, but I understand what she's saying. See, Donovan said prostitution is the world's oldest profession. That it is. Let's see. Shout out to Shan. I think. Yeah, Shan said, let's see, they do that just to have those kids because they feel that once they reach a milestone, they should have some kids and leave it like that without no husband or don't know excuses. I kind of understand what you're saying. So they had a certain point, so they feel like they got to do something basically before they run out of time. That's what I get from that.
Like a buzzer beater baby.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. I think I understand what you're trying to say, Shan. Let me keep going. Let's see. Art Jizzle. Shout out to Art Jizzle. He said they can control the bum dudes.
What's this?
To a certain extent.
No. Why do you think that these men are the ones who are the prey? These men are the ones who are like unintelligent. They're the stupid ones. They're the ones that's getting these women that honestly a lot of men do want. So they're not stupid. But this idea that, they're the prey. So Nick Cannon, he's in a power position. These men that these women are angry about and crying over, they're in a power position. They're not the prey. They're the predators. And for some reason, women just can't get that through their heads. They think that they're the ones in control. So it's like this reverse thing. Like, okay, I'll let you believe you're in control. But meanwhile, you're having my kid. Meanwhile, you're under my control, under my roof. I'm paying your bit. So who's really the prey? Predator.
No, I got you. Let me keep going. See, shout out to Woodsy Lynette in the building. Woodsy in the building. She said, let's see, they feel they have few options, so they would rather pick those baby fathers with multiples and figure they have better odds. Okay, but see, even in this right here, Woodsy, the ladies is always talking about they ain't gonna settle. So how you gonna sit here and settle for a dude and basically hope that you got better odds? Like that's what y'all say y'all don't do. Is settling.
They settle for the man that makes them tingle, Mr. Price.
Man,
They settle for the man that makes them tingle. If he makes them tingle, they will settle. That's what it is.
Okay, I mean, I'm starting to see that, man. I'm starting to see that. Let me keep going. See, Victoria said low self-esteem. No, so I definitely think that there's some self-esteem issues out here, and I'm gonna say this on the women and the men's part. Yeah, I think it's some dudes lacking self-esteem, and I definitely know some women out here lacking some self-esteem. So appreciate this comment right here. See, Donovan said, let's see, there's a big difference between type and desire. I don't know, Donovan. That might almost be the same thing, man.
Something
Yeah, it
similar.
might be the same thing right there. I understand where you're going with it, though. CJ, you said, let's see, and even though it might not be the majority of women sleeping, let's see, and even though it might not be the majority of women sleeping with the Cam Newtons and the Nick Cannons, those men are still becoming the standard for most women. No, facts. That's what I'm saying. We define these dudes as the pinnacle of success. So this is what women are saying that they're looking for, which is why they want to look past a lot of the average hardworking dudes, like they not successful. Yeah, but that's a problem in itself. We look at a hardworking man. Yeah, we look at a family man. We look at a dude who works a 9 to 5, and we want to label that as non-successful because it doesn't level up to a Cam Newton or a Nick Cannon or this other nonsense, or some rapper, some entertainer, somebody else. And see, we're doing that purely based off monetary levels. Yeah, we never define success off character and morals and standards and how they carry themselves. It's always about some money. Yeah, but that's why I said that is a change as a community that we have to make. We got to stop defining success based on money. Yeah, money is just a tool. That don't mean somebody is successful. So yeah, we really got to think about what we doing out here. See, shout out to Hootie Ra. The biggest issue is that we refuse to see our situation for what it is. We have examples and numbers to show us the issue, but we skate around the pink elephant. Yeah, man, we definitely be ducking and dodging, shucking and jiving around some of the stuff out here.
I got a question for you, Corey.
Go ahead, Joe.
You're saying money doesn't define success. I remember Vince talking one time about how money, in a way, does define success, and I actually agree with him on it. But my question to you is, how does money not define a level of success? Because to achieve a certain level of success, does that not require a level of intelligence? Whether it's intellectual intelligence, emotional intelligence, in order to maneuver around in the industries that you choose, whether it be football or music, whatever. So you're saying money doesn't define success, and I would agree with you, but it's not even, it's the person that you are and become that you have to be in order to acquire that level of money. Even like yourself, I'm gonna assume you make 6 figures or so.
So yes and no though, because see that's the thing, Joe. See, we got scammers out here that's millionaires.
That's intelligence. I agree. I'm not saying it's right, but that is we can say what we want. It's very smart. If you can figure out a way, and I'm not saying this is right. You have people who scam people and get away with it. People who get over it and they get away with it. We say, oh, that's bad, that's horrible. Morally speaking, that's wrong. But it is intelligent.
So now it's just intelligence. So now it's only intelligence it's only intelligence.
You can't make this shit up.
So character doesn't have anything to do with it. Moral standards doesn't have anything to do with this. So now it's only intelligence and money.
Come on, Joe.
Those are the only two qualifiers now: intelligence and money.
Come on, Joe.
I'm just saying, when you say money, I was saying money plays a part. Intelligence plays a part, whether you look at it from a good or bad perspective. Those are not obviously the only two things.
Okay, so then they need more.
The morals, the characters, and all the other stuff.
So
you're talking about like higher level stuff.
So then there needs to be more.
So let's tie the context to it though. So we're talking about in the context of a relationship, right? So we know we got some dudes out here who can make some money. Like I said, I can go out here on the corner and slang a couple bricks and make some money and be the worst character, worst dude out here. So I mean, we gotta attach some context to it. In the context of a relationship, finances is not enough. And we got to be honest about that. Like, you made a point earlier, Joe, when I was asking, why some of these ladies are still laying up with these bum cats. And you made a valid point. You said some of them basically are doing it for security because these dudes have resources. And see, just that
Genetics, too.
particular. No, I'm just saying. I'm just touching on the security point that you made, because I agree with you. There are some women that's doing that for security, right? Because this guy got some money, so they feel like they're gonna be this and that and this and that. But the reason why I say that we can't base all of this success on the money is because some of those dudes with the money is gonna have a lot of ladies lacking security. Because see, he can generate money, but he still might be reckless. Yep, he can generate money, but he can still be cheating on you, still bringing other women's bodies in and up out of that thing while he's still laying up with you raw. So you think you secure because he's making money, but if everything else about that man is jacked up outside of his financial intelligence, then that dude is not providing you security.
Sacrifice they make.
Yep. Right. See, once again, we defining stuff incorrectly. Yep. Security to a woman is not only money.
That's true.
We back to this money again. Success is not only money. Having money don't mean that you truly can secure a woman. That's not what that means. But see, that's what we've turned it into. So now we feel like if I go get some dude with a whole bunch of money, I'm going to be secure. And that's not what that means. Because if you go talk to a lot of them chicks, that's what these dudes with all this money, the situation behind the scenes is jacked up. But see, we get fooled by the Louis Vuitton and the Gucci and all this other aesthetic garbage that we do to cover up the fact that that lady ain't secure at all. She just with a dude with money. Yep, some of these situations that we watching right now, I want to look at some of these situations in a couple years from now and see how secure that lady really was while she done laid up with this cat that had multiple kids with him. We're going to go back and look and see how secure she actually was. Yeah, but we got to get back to actually defining these things properly, because right now the way we define this stuff is really what's got us it's got our mindsets all jacked up. It's like we don't even really know how to look for the right thing because we don't even know how to properly define it.
A lot of women will sacrifice emotional and spiritual security for financial. A lot of women will settle for that. So when we talk about settling, why? I could say, someone said it earlier. One reason I suspect is low self-esteem. Second reason is because they just haven't been around a man to show them what that emotional and spiritual security looks like. So when Chloe talked about God being obviously number one, then it's the husband, then it's the wife, then it's the children, most women don't have that basic understanding that she laid out, let alone have they ever seen it in action in their own lives. So they won't know what to look for. So they see the drug dealer on the street who's getting the money. Well, that's some form of security, which is true. It's not the complete total security that they need, the holistic version that we understand. But they figure, well, some security is better than nothing. At least my child can eat, or at least I feel like, this guy's making money. He'll be able to take care of the child financially. He may not be there in the child's life, but at least I have that. So low self-esteem and having not seen it growing up in their life, those are my only two guesses for right now.
Okay, no, I feel that. So then, if that's the case, then we gotta own this. Yeah, we gotta own this, because just based on some of the, some of the things that have come out, we all full of problems. Yeah, we all full of problems. Yeah, we got ladies settling, talking about they don't settle. They settling all day long. Yeah, we got dudes out here, talking about they on top of their leadership game, but they still out here just busting out random chicks. Like, we all got problems, but we got to own this stuff at some point. Yeah, because the finger pointing, that ain't going to do it. We actually got to implement some changes. So, yeah, let me, you want me to read this, Coco? What you want? You're on mute. Come off mute.
Read that one, because I got to take my glasses from Tia G.
Yeah.
So from Tia G, it says, women will. Let's see, you don't know a diverse group of women. You don't know women with opinions, with power, that owns her power.
She must be talking about who?
Me? Sounds like a feminist to me.
Yeah, I don't know where she going with that.
You know that's coming
TNG,
from.
clarify for us.
Coming from a single woman.
Yeah, that's feminist
You know
talk
that's
right
coming
there.
from a single woman. Power.
Oh man.
Oh my God!
And the funny thing about it is that you would think that I'm some type of male chauvinist, that I come from. Most of the women in my family, I got female cousins that are top-notch executives, C-suite. But you know what they first? Wives. They wives first. And see, that's the problem. Okay, let's just move on to something else. You got another one, Quay, because this
No, I got
women
another one
power
down
and
here.
options. They ain't got no damn
I
options.
agree. Let's move on.
Male ego. There was a
Mr.
point in
Mr.
time
Butler.
in the relationship with us. To speak about the male ego, there was a point in time in the relationship with us where we had our first son. We needed health insurance. He wasn't in the league anymore. Health insurance was done. I started working in MAC Cosmetics, and he had to stay home with the baby. And I never thought about what that would have felt like for him, not being able to be in the space where he was the breadwinner or he was the provider. For me, it's just like, yo, babe, what we got to do? I'm going to do it. But
I was broke and broken.
I didn't know, and I
For
didn't
real.
know.
I would go in the bathroom. I'd go in the bathroom, turn the shower on. I'd be sitting on the toilet, fully clothed like this. And she'd be like, "You okay, baby?" Yeah, I'm fine. Just trying to get my bravado up, and then I would go get in the shower, come out, act like everything was okay. And that was because of my ego, but it was because of everything my dad taught me. My dad told me that I got to be the breadwinner.
Yeah.
My grandfather was the breadwinner. And here I am retiring from the NFL, and my wife got to go to work.
Yeah.
And I'm staying at home with our 1-year-old. I felt like less of a man. And in a lot of ways, you know what I did? I projected that anger on the person who was closest to me. And who's the closest person to me? Her.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with her, but I projected it on her. And then once I started to learn about myself, then I learned about her family. When I learned about her family, that's when I was like, oh, I got to change some things.
But let me ask you this, looking back now, having done the work and realized that you stepped up where help was needed and you did take care of those kids. Do you still feel like you were less of a man now? How do you see it now when you reflect on it?
To be honest, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Come on, bro.
And you
Proud of
should
myself.
be.
Thanks, thanks, y'all.
You should
Yeah.
be.
I appreciate that. I am proud of myself. I'm proud of my wife. I'm proud of us as two young kids.
Yeah.
That
Man, that's
yes, I'm
it.
definitely proud of
Literally
you
too
too.
young.
The man is a provider when all these women, especially black sisters, have had to hold down their men while they pursued and fulfilled their dreams. Is this brother any less of a man because he was kicked out of the NFL, couldn't work, didn't have employment? Well, he couldn't provide. So does that mean he was not fulfilling his role as a man? Look, marriage is about partnership. It's about two people sharing and quote unquote providing what's necessary to make the marriage work. Help me out here. So I guess I'm not a man if I don't make more money than my wife, if I'm not the breadwinner. Is that what y'all are saying? Come on, it don't even make no sense. We hold each other down. All this role stuff that y'all getting from patriarchy don't make no sense whatsoever. And
All right. So video number 2. So I know we talking black men are the problem. So let me ask y'all this. So just straightforward question. Do y'all feel like a man is not a provider if he is not the breadwinner in the household?
No. That doesn't mean he's not. So I don't think that's the prerequisite. I don't think that the prerequisite to you being considered a provider means that you have to be the breadwinner, right? I don't think that's the way it works, right? A man, and also I think we need to understand that provision is not just money. We're going back to that. I know we talked about that earlier. While success not being reduced to just money, right? Provision should not just be reduced to just money, right? Because there's a lot that a man is providing as a man in that scenario in a family structure. He's providing a lot. That role of that man being there is so important because there are men that are showing up financially, but then they're not showing up in any of the other ways. And the family is suffering because of it. So obviously the money is not the only factor. So no, I would say no.
So let me go a little far. Let me get this comment, then we'll come right back to you. Victoria said, "I'm always going to hold my man down, whether he is up or down." Okay, we appreciate that, Victoria. So you just said something, Coco, and I want to zero in on this because I think this is an issue as well. So you said that a man is doing so many other things other than just this money. Do you think women actually feel like that today?
No, but I think part of the reason why is because I don't think that we understand anymore why it's important to have gender roles. Like the man in the video touched on, are y'all still holding on to these gender roles for the patriarchy? Like, bump the patriarchy. Like, I just explained to y'all God's order. Like, he put man in that position. Like, and whether you believe in God or not, but most of y'all are walking around saying that y'all do. So if y'all do believe in God, then he's the one who established men in this particular position, right? So I think people don't understand the importance of there being gender roles. You need to understand the importance of, there's a reason why men assume certain roles. And part of it is because their biology, like there are certain ways that men were built, period, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. So they're in this role because they were actually equipped for that particular role. And as a woman, I was equipped for this particular role. So when I'm trying to play a different role that I wasn't biologically equipped for, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be able to assume some version of that role, but it's not going to be right. And I'm going to end up burning myself out trying to step into shoes and feel shoes that I am not supposed to be feeling, and vice versa. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't help your man out. That doesn't mean that if your man have a low point, you can't step in. And that's none of what I'm talking about. See, that's why I think people don't like the idea of gender roles, because they don't actually understand what it means. A man is still a man, even if he loses his job. Like, he's still in that role. He still carries that responsibility and that weight, right? This is why he's saying he felt, he's saying he felt a certain type of way as a man. He felt a certain type of way as a man because he was built to be able to carry a certain thing. And he felt like he wasn't carrying it. Now, I do agree that he shouldn't have felt less than a man, but I understand why. Because here I am, I'm this big, strong man. I've been given this role. This is my role. And I'm not fulfilling it the way I would like to fulfill it. That doesn't mean he wasn't still there. He wasn't present. It doesn't mean he was useless. None of that. But let's just be honest. As a woman, there's certain things that I know as a woman I should be able to do for my family. So when I can't do those things, I am going to feel a little bit of some type of way about that. Because I know as a woman, there are traditionally roles that I assume as a woman that I was built for. And when I can't fulfill those, I am going to feel some type of way. Does it make me less of a woman? No. But that doesn't mean I'm not still going to feel some type of way about that. Because the truth is, these things exist. They're real. And if we understood the importance of them, maybe our family structure wouldn't be crumbling in our community.
Right. No, that's real right there. Go ahead, Vince.
Well, I like Kandid, and I don't know what their names are, but if you caught what he said at the end, is what I always say. We were young kids. So I know we like to think what we want to be true, but we got to look at what reality. That second guy, he was a simp and pandering. Patriarchy. The patriarchy works in every other race of people but ours. But other than that, it's easier to build together. See, we don't build a life together. We get a life, then try to make our life partner with your life. And that's the problem. You wait until you're 35, you done mapped out your whole life, you done mapped out where you want to go. You already you already maybe had a kid or two. So you're trying to put your partner your life with somebody else's life when you haven't built a life together. That's the problem. And yeah, I don't think it's hard to get that respect if you're not I'm not gonna say the breadwinner, but you can't come to these 35 and 40-year-old chicks talk about I can only bring 30%. It's just not gonna. I don't care about your character. I don't care about your morals. You're not gonna get no respect bringing 30%.
But
You
man,
just
Vince,
not. That's just
the
how it
ladies,
is for men. I don't care. I don't, because women have told you that. Every woman out here, I said, can you pay 70%? You know what? I can pay 50. They don't want to do it.
But they have sex with the guy who's giving them 0%.
Well, everybody wants some sex.
but they saying it right here though, Vince.
So my thing, I don't deal with I deal with reality, man. You not gonna get no respect if you 35 talking about you ain't the breadwinner. It's not going to happen unless you that dude, and most of us are not that dude. Now, B-Box, you might be that dude. I haven't been that dude to every woman that I've dated.
I was agreeing with you, Vince. I wasn't
So,
disagreeing. I'm actually agreeing with you. I don't know why. I'm not getting straight. I'm agreeing with you.
Like with every other race of people, they don't wait until they 35 and 40 to get married with a couple kids. They get married at 24, 25 and build their life together. So his value, and this is what I talk about value, his value in that home was more than about money. First of all, he was her husband and he was that child's father. The first one. Not the third or the fourth one. She got two, I got one, and now we trying to build a life at 35 when we should have started at 25. It's not going to work. So I know y'all can hold men down, but you ain't gonna hold them down for that long. You ain't gonna hold them down forever. If he loses his job and he can't get another one, it's gonna be a problem.
Wait, hold on. So wait. So Vince, let me get some clarification. So this comment came in earlier from Victoria. She said, "I'm always going to hold my man down, whether he's up or down." So are you saying that she?
I would like to know she's married, because people say stuff when it ain't real. People say a whole lot of shit when it ain't real. Oh, I hold my man down. No, you wouldn't. If you got a house, you live in a house right now, a man come in there in your house that you bought, that you paying the rent, he lose his job, he said, you know what, baby, I just want to be a house husband. But I think my value, I really don't want to work. I want to be a house husband. I want to wash the clothes and take care of the kids we might have, and I want that role. But it's not going to work.
That happens all the time in our community. You got that get snack packs all the time.
It happens, but they don't get. It happens, but they don't get respected. They're the most disrespected men, bitch-made, hen-peck men I've ever seen in my life.
Vince, but I agree with you.
I'm talking about happy marriage. I ain't talking about just being together because you ain't got nothing else to do.
Unfortunately, some men are cool with that. I'm agreeing with you. I agree, but you know that, Vince, there's a lot of men out here be like, oh, as long as I'm getting free sex, getting free food, getting free Comcast, getting free Wi-Fi.
I don't respect men like that.
But my biggest point,
I don't respect them types.
I know, I agree, Vince. But my biggest point is women will settle for that all the time. But then they'll get out of that relationship, say, "But I want the man who's 6'6".
That's what I mean. They won't. Right. They won't do it forever. They'll do it for a minute.
Right. It's crazy.
Eventually, they're gonna put his ass out because he ain't ambitious enough.
Yeah, she did respond though. She responded and said she married though, so that's
okay. Well, I digress.
Oh my God!
Before we move on to the next topic, I just want to bring this up real quick sidebar. I'm just gonna bring this up because I'm the only woman on the panel right now. I'm the only woman on the panel. Thanks to shout out to the women hold me down in the comments. But I am the only woman on the panel. And this is the second comment that we have gotten about this tonight. So I'm going to put it up. I'm going to give you your 5 seconds of fame.
Oh, damn.
I'm going to put it up. This is the second comment we done got. What is wrong with y'all? We are on the show talking about real issues between men and women in the community. What is wrong with y'all? Y'all got bigger problems than this. Y'all got way bigger problems than if a woman is wearing a wig or not. I get that y'all don't like the wigs. I understand it. I get it. But y'all got bigger problems to find.
than if the woman is wearing a wig on her head. Like, I'm gonna need y'all to set this one down for a minute and pick something up. Pick up a real issue that we got going on. Sit this one down for a second. Press pause on this one so we can figure out why we got broken homes and why we got, you know, Pookies and Ray Rays and why we can't get it together and why financially we on the bottom. We got some real serious issues to cover. So can we just let's sit this one down for a second and pick something else up? And sidebar, if y'all don't know what y'all looking at, that's really why y'all should probably stay out of women. I see why women saying y'all need to stay out their business, because if y'all don't know what y'all looking at, y'all need to stay out. These are braids, not a wig. And if you can't tell the difference, then you probably shouldn't be talking to a woman about what's on her head to begin with. Now let's pick the serious conversation back up, damn it.
Hey, well, I said sometimes that's got to be, you know, it's got to be that way. Let's say,
mind y'all business. Hell, what if I wanted to wear a wig? Mind y'all business and let me be great.
Miss Coco 3, men in the panel 0. I mean, she been on fire tonight, boy. She.
no, it's getting real tonight. But let's say sometimes folks be in these comments, man. And like I said, we appreciate everybody in the comments. We appreciate the support, but sometimes some of the comments come through and it's just like, man, what bag you coming out of, man?
Get him, Coco.
I'm being so weird. Like, y'all so weird.
It's not the topic. That was such a random. It's not even. It's such a
where my
random
moderators
thought.
at? Where my moderators at? Y'all gotta stay on top of these folks.
Let them stay in the comments because we're gonna address it. We addressing all comments.
All right, we almost. Go ahead. You want to say something, Joe? Then we'll get ready. We got one last one just for the ghetto stuff. Then we're gonna get up out of here, man. You want to say something real quick?
Yeah, just briefly. The providing. I mean, everyone else pretty much touched on it, but the easy thing to focus on for men is just that money is just tangible, right? It's in front of everybody's face. It's something you can see and hold and say, okay, if I do this, I get that. But providing, from what I've learned, it's also it's providing wisdom to women, providing structure, space for them to flourish and to thrive, to be themselves, and providing love. And then, of course, money is a factor. But I think there's an overemphasis. I know there is an overemphasis for men to be providers in the sense of go out there and get a job to make X amount of money to provide a lifestyle. But it's not about providing a lifestyle to a woman. It's about providing a level of security, and all of those other qualities that I mentioned before. That's not something that we're taught. Typically, the first thing you hear when you're a boy, even in kindergarten, is what do you want to be when you grow up? It's not who are you who do you want to be? It's who do you want to be is based on your career, your path, the type of work you do, which is financially related. But it's those questions we don't get asked is who are you as a person? Who do you want to be? As in, do you want to be honorable man? Do you want to be respectful? Do you want to be kind? What kind of man do you want to be internally? Those qualities that isn't just, do you want to be a firefighter or astronaut or an IT person or whatever? So that's the reason why a lot of people immediately slot provider and just oppose it to money. But that's a very small factor in the grand scheme of things, because we find out that even when money is taken care of in a relationship, it doesn't guarantee that a relationship is going to work. That man can be providing all the money that the woman wants in the world. But if he's not providing her the wisdom, the structure, the space, and the love that she requires as a woman for her to thrive, then him providing money is just like, okay, the icing is getting stale now. I'm getting sick. I want the cake. I want all these other things that he's not providing me. The men get confused, but I'm providing you the house. I'm providing you the money. I'm providing you 6 figures. So they get confused. They get mad because now I'm getting divorced, but I got money. How is this possible? I was told that being a provider was just materialistic thing or some sort of lifestyle. That's just unfortunately not. Lastly, the last guy at the clip, I don't know why he even put himself there. It was unnecessary. Talking about patriarchy and all these other things. The reality is that someone has to be the head, someone has to be the leader. Women want to look up to the man. Women say it themselves, figuratively and literally. I want a man who's at least X amount inches taller than me. That's a physical representation of what women look for internally to me. That like I want him to know more than me, be better than me in all these other areas, not just taller than me. If I'm taller than a woman, I am better than her physically in some way. She wants me to be stronger, taller. So then also she wants me to be smarter and all these other things that she wants. So it has to be that way. If it's flipped the other way, she cannot respect the man. It's impossible. If she's looking down on you, literally and physically and internally, like, oh, he doesn't really match up to my standards. He doesn't. I'm looking down. It's not going to work. It doesn't work the same way. So he's too old to be talking like that. I get why someone like Fresh and Fit would speak like that. I get it. Younger guys, but him, he's. I should be looking to him for wisdom and advice. So he's misleading a lot of youth because a lot of young guys are going to look at him and say, "Oh yeah, he might be right. Yeah, he's got a point. He's been living on this earth longer. That don't mean he's smart. That don't mean he have much wisdom." So I'll just leave it on that.
Okay. All right, cool. Appreciate that. All right, we got one. Y'all always manage to send me a ratchet one, boy. Man, we talking black men are the problem. So y'all done sent me a TC. See what it is.
They are more willing, the young men, they are more willing to listen, more willing to do what it do. Okay? The old men, y'all. We got a problem, y'all. We got a problem. Come on in, because I love y'all. Y'all are coming to us with some, what do we got for y'all?
So your question is,
am I supposed to take these young guys
the YNs doing it for you?
Y'all, because I feel like I'm robbing a cradle. I'm about to be 47 years old.
Whoa! Okay, now these YNs, how old are they?
21, and my oldest child is 25.
I think that's too large of an age gap. It's like you're gonna control that person. They don't know any better yet.
I totally dismiss that baby. But those are the ones that are.
What does he have to offer you at 21 years old?
The 40 and up year old men are like treating women like prostitutes. Let's just be honest.
Okay, are they treating women like prostitutes or they treating you like a prostitute?
No.
Let Kitty talk. Let Kitty talk. Let Kitty talk.
I don't play with men.
Hold on, we gotta let the panelists talk now.
Let her cook.
Let her cook.
Oh Jesus. I'm trying to sugarcoat it, but I don't know how. Baby, the way you came to this microphone and started talking showed me exactly why these 47 and up year olds are not dealing with you.
They're approaching.
They approaching, but they not sticking. We don't care about the approach. Anybody can approach anybody that got something between their legs. They not sticking. Why are they not sticking? Look at the way that you came to even ask the question. You read around about 15,000 times. Anybody with the intellect can see that on a mental level, maturity, you are not there to where these men, these 47-year-olds who lead and have things going for themselves are going to land on that. And that's the reason why you're attracting these YNs, because these YNs want you to mother them. They don't care about nothing else. They found a mother in you because you had something to prove. At the level that you are on the spiritual maturity level, on the intellectual maturity level, on the emotional maturity level, just by the way that you talk, I work with people every single day, is the reason why it's not sticking. So before we get to this microphone and say next time, why are these 40-something-year-old men not doing this? And why are these 25-something-year-old men doing this? We need to go ahead and take that mirror, that God-given mirror, and look at ourselves and ask that question, why? That's all I gotta say.
Okay, so that's the ratchet one for the day. Y'all had to give me one, boy. Shout out to tonight's conversation. Let's definitely check them out. Interesting show. Beatboxing, man. What you trying to say, man? So don't come off mute, man. What you saying?
Sorry. Remember me and Vince were trying to say most women are kind of like what we just, this is what we kind of dealing with. Now, she's the most loud and the most ghetto of all, like I've seen. Like that's like an extreme.
Oh,
but that's what we're dealing with, bruh. Like they aren't listening to anybody. They're loud, they're obnoxious, they got kids, they're old, and talking about, well, these older men are dealing with me, so they're the problem, not me. So let me date these little boys. Really? I mean, come on, bruh. Like, that's what like, how is I, as a man, as a leader, how can I lead that? What am I going to say to that? Hey, you should probably have some more introspection, read a book or two. I don't know. But like, they're not going to listen. They're not going to, that women like that are not going to listen. It's over. And on another point, their kids that grew up with her, it's over for them too. It's done for most of these people. It's done. I'm sorry, bro.
Okay. Coco, you want to respond to that?
I mean, I was just gonna say, okay. This is why I say what I say about the loud, ignorant, and the wrong, right? Because we do have to remember we have a platform as well. And we have to remember that these people go on this show and it is a show. We talked last week about social media being media. And they're going to pick the worst among us and shine the light on those, just like they always go for the low hanging fruit with Black men and show the worst of Black men. Like that represents all Black men. Like we know that's what did you say, Joe?
I said Jerry Springer, Maury, all of those.
Yeah. And that's not the best representation. That is not the best representation of 40-year-old women. That's not the best representation of men. Like, I'm not saying that they're not out there. I'm not saying that. I'm just simply saying that is not a very good representation at all. Like, they're not. Like, some of the things that we've seen them women get up there and say, like, on that microphone.
I just said this is the extreme. I didn't say it was the norm. I said that was the most extreme I've ever seen.
Right. And but I don't think that we should. So then we say, well, it's over for them. Are we just saying it's over for them? Because I agree with you if we saying it's over for that mindset, that whole, it's definitely over for that. Right. But is that us? Does she then represent us? Right. Yes, it's over for that. But does she then represent us? And do we then say, well, look at that, throw them all away? Like, well, I guess my point, this kind of goes back to my point I was saying earlier. I just don't want us to get into a space where we see stuff like that and we go throw them all away. Because did you see that? That's what we dealing with out here. Throw them all away. Right? Like, it would be the same as if I drank the Kool-Aid about Black men. So because we got people getting on here, women getting on here complaining about they had this date with this Black man or this happened or that happened. So then I'm supposed to say Black men ain't is, throw them all away? Like, that's crazy. I'm not going to do that. So like, I'm not about to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not
Sorry, I'm not saying all, Miss Coke. I want to be very clear. I'm not saying all, but I'm saying for the majority of women, like even the woman who responded to her, she's had issues. She's had domestic violence issues, right? The woman who responded, Kitty, whatever her name is, Kendra G up there. Kendra G is a known. I'm not gonna go with Kendra G, right? But you know what you get what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying every single woman, amen, is like we got to throw them all away. But I am saying in general, and what Vince was saying is what like we're dealing in general. That's what we're dealing with in some form or fashion. And it's really hard to lead anybody if there's this, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's kind of like pulling like teeth with people. Like, I don't want to do all that. I'm not, if you're not willing, it's like pulling a mule. If you're going to keep bucking, bye-bye, go away. I don't want to deal with all that. Like, that's what I'm trying to say.
I'm not saying, okay. And I think that I'll go back to my original point. I'm not saying, I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. I don't think that you should be trying to change the mind of someone who is who's stuck on stupid. Like, I don't think that's not the goal. We're wasting our energy and our time on that. I'm more so talking about the young women who are coming up who are impressionable. I'm more so talking about the young men who are coming up who are impressionable. And I'm even talking about the women in your age group who are like, dang, they looking around and they like, man, what I've been doing ain't working for me. What am I doing wrong? You see what I'm saying? Like, and we've come across those young women, and we have one on the panel from time to time. And I just feel like if we get into the mindset that we're just throwing everybody away and we're categorizing everybody the same way, then if we really, and I don't think we believe that. The reason why I don't think we believe that is because we show up every week and we have these conversations. If we really believed that we needed to just walk away and throw them away, then we wouldn't be still doing this. So obviously we believe that there are still people worth saving, men and women, or else what are we doing it for? Right? So what I'm challenging people to do is to say, yeah, that's out there. Let's be entertained by it because it's entertaining. But at the same time, let's talk to the people who are really trying to change it. They see the problem and they don't want to be a part of the problem anymore. They want to be a part of the solution now. They're tired of being a part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess that's why I'm like, let's keep having the conversations, because that's who we're trying to reach. We understand everybody ain't gonna make it. Like, some people just gonna get left behind. They just gonna get left behind, men and women. It is what it is. Right?
Well, that's facts. That's facts. And JR, I saw you coming on. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I do understand the point that both Miss Cole and Big Box are making about, throwing people away and not to throw people away, right? Now the problem is that the message that, not even the message, right? The mindset that the men have and the mindset that women have are just not, matching up. So the proof in that would be, the lady in the video, she's dating the men that would be deemed to be toxic or misogynistic, whatever it is, right? Sorry.
Yeah, I know you probably got a little noise coming through. I'll give you a minute because I know you got a little background noise. Oh, you might have a lot of noise. I'll come back to you, JR. I know you got some noise. You're probably trying to mute out. Let me say this real fast. You good? All right, go ahead, JR.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, so the problem that we're having is that the mindset of the men and the mindset of the women is not matching. So the older lady, she's obviously dating older men. Their views are deemed as toxic and they're misogynistic or whatnot, right? So, like I said, the younger guys have adapted and they have become more benevolent to women. But the problem is, it's that with men being so benevolent, when men talk to women, you can almost kind of, if you've been around women for long enough, you can read the mindset of it that this is going to be a problem, right? But the problem is, it's that eventually they are going to get to that mindset, whether it's before or during a relationship, and that's the problem. It's the toxic mindset of the women, where they don't want to listen to no one. Like she said, something about she's a prostitute or something like that. No, that's what they view you as, because that's the way that you're moving. So that's the control that they have over her. Like, we'll treat you like this. But in reality, she goes to younger guys. She's the one now that's in control. But the younger women as well want to also be in control. But like I said, men's benevolency just ain't working out, because the same way she's running away from the men of her age, the women of today are starting to run away from the men, and the men are also running away from the women, because the message ain't lining up. Because eventually, men are going to stop being so nice to women.
Okay, I appreciate that right there. Let me do this real fast. Let's see. Just want to make sure I got everybody covered. You want to say something, Vince? Then I'll rock, and then we're going to get ready to take close. Go ahead.
Nah, the problem is, you see how she responded? Women, when was the last time you heard a woman respond to another woman that clearly and effectively? She didn't beat around the bush. She didn't say, well, yeah, girl, you look good for 47. And if you want them young guys, girl, go ahead and get them. Because that's what they do. She cut into her like Kevin Samuels. If she was a man, it would have been, oh, you talking to her bad, you demeaning women, you what is it? You sassy, you must be gay, you hate women. That's the problem. See how she cutting it, and that's how men cutting the men. Men will say, look, bruh, stop fucking up out here. That's how real men come to their sons. You know what I'm talking about, Quay? When you see your son doing something, look. We got to stand on business out here.
For sure.
So that's what I'm talking about, Coco. If women were to tell these women the truth, then maybe we might have a hope. But y'all don't. Well, it's not everybody, and it's not 100%, and that's not the majority, and you know, she's just having fun, and you know, I look at the whole Cardi B and Cash Style situation. Their legs ain't even closed up good, and they done moved on to men, and you got more women. Girl, just have your fun, girl. Can you at least just close your legs long? The kids ain't even 1 and 2 yet. Then you move on to another fool. Yeah, girl, have some fun. Really? That's what y'all want y'all women to do? Just keep going in a dumb cycle? It ain't say, well, maybe, girl, you need to sit down for a minute and reevaluate. Get your kids together before you jump into another relationship. But no, y'all don't say it. Y'all just don't, Coco. I get it. The majority don't. It'd be, oh, she happy. She having fun. At what expense? Them kids barely know their own daddy. Now you bringing somebody else around them that ain't gonna stay.
Yeah. No, that's real, man. No, that's real right there. That's real, man. Let me say this. Just tying back to the last video, the tonight's conversation video. There's one thing I gotta latch on to, because like I said, once again, tonight we are talking black men are the problem. And somebody dropped this comment, which I think it really defines what I'm about to say. Where is it at? Shout out to I think that's Warren Getty. He said, black men, we have to lead. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This is all I heard from that video. Yeah, that lady said that she was 47 years old. I'm gonna be honest. She was all over the place. All over the place. But she said that she gets hollered at by these 21-year-olds. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. For me, that's a man problem right there. Yeah, the fact that my 21-year-old son is attracted and entertaining that type of 47-year-old woman is a problem. Yeah, but this is where I put it on the men. So to all my fellas out here, if you have sons, get your hands and get your influence on your sons. Yeah, this type of woman right here, and I don't know this woman personally, I'm just going off the video. This is not the type of woman that my 21-year-old son need to be interacting with. Yep, especially at his level of maturity at 21, his level of experience at 21, this 47-year-old woman moving the way she moving, talking the way she talking, representing what she representing. No. Nope, we ain't doing it. Yep, so to all the men out here who have sons, This is what folks mean when they talk about we have to lead. Yep, if men were leading properly, this would not be happening. Yep, this 47-year-old woman from this video would not be sitting up here on this stage talking about the 47-year-old dudes want something from her or want to know what she gonna do for them. So she over here entertaining the dude that's 21 years old. That's crazy work. Yep, and as a father, I definitely don't want that to be my 21-year-old son. So, man, fellas, we got to step up, man. We got to take the lead. We got to set the tone. And that doesn't just go for these women. It goes for our sons and our daughters as well. We have to step up and set the tone and lead properly. We got to set the right examples. We got to set the right structures and create the right structures so that this video that we just watched can't even exist. Yeah, because there's nothing that this 47-year-old, whatever she is, she don't have no business with no 21-year-old son from nobody. Shouldn't even be happening. If she need to go up there and play in the 47, 50, 55-year-old range where she should be, or she need to go do the work on herself and get herself together, and then maybe those dudes in that age range will entertain her. Yeah, but she don't have no business interacting with my 21-year-old son. Let me just keep it real. And I'm going to leave it just like that. We taking some closing and we out of here, man. Coming across the top and the bottom and we gone. This comment, let's see, Victoria said, let's not take the responsibility from this 47-year-old woman. No Diddy. Yeah, no facts. She ain't getting no pass. Because the fact that she's sitting up here talking like that is crazy work. It's already a problem. All right, man. Top, bottom, we go. Coco, you want to say anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, I'll try to keep it brief. But no, I think that's the only point that I was making. That's the point I was trying to make earlier that I think was being missed because, unfortunately, men are doing what women have been doing, and I get it. When you get frustrated with someone, this is typically the response that you're going to give. You know, when somebody points a finger at you, even if it's a justifiable offense, you're going to point it right back at them, right? I could say the same thing of the thing that Vince said. You know, I know he had to dip off, but the thing that Vince said about,
He's still here.
you know, oh, there he is. Okay. There you are. Yeah, the thing that you were saying about how men, you know, will call something out, whereas, you know, you'll get a grip on a young man and you'll call it out. Whereas women will be like, oh, girl, if you want to date that young man, you know, go ahead on and do your thing, right? Like, I agree with you. There's a lot of that going on. But this is what I'm saying we have to stop doing. We have to stop doing those behaviors on both sides, right? Men do need to be calling out some of these behaviors that they're seeing in young men. They need to be calling this stuff out. When dudes are when you see dudes just they messing around with chicks that they shouldn't even be letting these chicks in a space like these. They shouldn't even be giving them the time of day, but they're entertaining them just for the cheeks. And see, some dudes will just look at that and be like, oh, he's just young. Oh, you know, I was young once or whatever. No, we condoning this behavior. We're allowing it. And as a woman, I shouldn't know that a younger woman or even a woman in my circle is out here, you know, behaving a certain way. And I'm not saying, girl, why are you, your girl, you know, this is going nowhere good, right? Like, why are we doing this? Like, why are not, I mean, we're saying these people are our friends. We're saying that they're our family members. We're saying that we care about these people, but we're not speaking up about their behavior. I'm sure that 47-year-old woman got somebody in her life that could be checking her on this nonsense, or at least, you know, bringing it up in a way to make her feel, I'm gonna be honest, I say bring shame back, because that behavior right there is shameful. And somebody in her life should be making her feel ashamed, because she should be. But where is that? It's missing. When some of these dudes is out here doing some of this stuff, where is the men around him, the grown men around him, making him feel ashamed for it? Like, where is that at? Why are we not doing that anymore? Right? So this is why I say men come to the front of the congregation. Hold this accountability. Yep, it's yours. Hold it. Because women are not the only ones that need to be held accountable. I'm not saying we don't need to be. I'm just saying we didn't do this all by ourselves. So let's be so for real. If we really want to see some change happen, then both parties have to come, to the conversation, honestly, and willing to hold what they're responsible for in order for us to actually move forward. We can't keep passing it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like, that's not working. It's not working.
No, that's facts. Appreciate that closeout right there. Beatbox, it's on you, man.
Yeah, I think Coco, she kind of pulled me to her side a little bit. I will say a little bit more than where I was. I'll say that because if I saw it in my life, if I saw an older, let's reverse the genders. If I saw an older man and I knew a younger woman, I'd be like, hey, what's going on here? I would say something. I'd be like, and I'm not saying I'm against like age gaps, but there's a difference between like an age gap of 35 to like 50, or she's almost 50 to a 21-year-old. Man, when I was 21, I was a fool. So I would say, hey, what's going on? So reversing that, yeah, I probably still say something to men, like, because I do think we do as men, we see that, and I'm not saying me, but we see that in a lot of men, like, oh, my man's getting it, right? And that's a problem. That's a problem within I would say it's even more pernicious with black men than not. Well, our black men will forgive that, say, oh, man, we know she's a horrible person, but you still having fun and doing all that. So, yeah, I do think when it's super obvious like that, black men need to intercede. Because I maybe think when you brought up your son, Mr. Price, I got a little boy too, and if I saw when he get 21, he's dealing with something like that, I'll be losing my mind. So, I think we just need to extend it to people that we aren't related to, right, as well. So, Ms. Coco, you did move me. Okay, so, and I get it. So, I'm going to leave it there.
Okay, appreciate that closeout, man. JR, when you change your title, Miss Coco's bodyguard, what?
Yes,
my God!
That's how you should address me, please. Come on, sir. Please, before I commence.
Man, what's going on, JR? You just swapped up, man. What's going on, man?
In respect of our queen who won the award today.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. You definitely said she was winning, man.
She fought very hard. But yeah, now I was gonna say, now I do agree with the point, right, about of the sex part about men, controlling themselves and whatnot. And I was thinking about earlier in the show, and I was just sitting there thinking, like, what the issue is. And I think it's one of those things where, like I said, right, men are aware. Well, obviously, I'm not going to say the women aren't aware, but men are aware that things are getting done the wrong way, right? And in terms of the control aspect of men being controlled, controlling themselves, I think it's a hard one, purely because the same way we complain about, women being bad towards men in the family court of law and whatnot, right? It's only because the gateway is open for them to do that. Like I always say, they're not actually bad people, but the gateway allows them to do that, right? To pull the trigger. And I think due to the fact that sex is readily available for men, as in, the gateway is open, it's hard for people to ask men not to want to engage in sex if it's readily available. Hence why I said we do acknowledge that that it is getting done the wrong way, and that's why in life, maybe laws, religion, or whatever it is, that's where there's certain constraints where things should get done the right way, and that's me basically saying that we need to go back to the courting aspect. Marriage, yes. Do men want sex? Yes, we do. but let's do it under the guise of marriage, you know, the right way, where there's no people out here getting pregnant, etc., etc. Because like I said, I do agree with the part where you said, you know, men are saying, oh, you're turning minority, right? Yeah, it's a minority that are knocking up the girls, yeah, but there's still a majority that are playing a part in having sex and causing, you know, certain issues and whatnot. So I do agree with that. That yeah, men have to lead, and to the point where Mr. Price has said, you know, why is the 21-year-old man, you know, boy, sorry, dealing with a 47-year-old woman? Dads, step in and, you know, pass on the right message. And like I always say, if the right message is delivered and both people are willing to listen and cooperate, hopefully we'll get there. Thank you for having me once again.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight, man. Vince, it's on you, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think we all need to take some accountability. But as far as the lead thing, I think where black men are the problem is that we haven't created a environment and a culture for us to get the respect that leadership demands. And I understand that as having, you know, everybody know I got a second time around, and I'm building the blocks of respect so I can have that respect when I go into leadership. And just because we are men don't mean that we are leaders or that we should have the respect as leaders. So I do agree with that point. We as men, we have to change our culture. And it doesn't start when our kids are 7, 8, 10, 12, 15. It starts in the womb. And it starts with marrying their mother. I don't care what nobody say. It's dysfunction and it's not gonna work. So that's my point. I think we have to begin to put the bricks of respect in our relationships. So when we lead, they will listen.
That's real. That's real. Okay, man. I appreciate that right there. I said valid points. Well, man, shout out to my panel tonight. Shout out to Coco Beatboxer, JR, Vince, Joe was on here earlier. Appreciate y'all holding me down, man. Great conversation, great points brought up. A lot of gems dropped tonight. So anybody who watched the show tonight, if y'all didn't get some gems out of tonight's conversation, woo-wee. Gems all night. But, man, shout out to everybody in the comments as well, man. The comments went crazy, man. Appreciate everybody dropping their comments, man, and supporting what we do. You know what I'm saying? Bringing your perspectives to the conversation. Coco, you want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to say, if you want to listen to the best panel on YouTube, we are now, also on Spotify, so you can listen in your car. You can listen for free, listen to some of our past episodes. Guys, we're posting new episodes every week. So check us out on Spotify.
Okay. No, I appreciate that service announcement. Shout out to Maria. She said, God bless y'all. And I appreciate you.
You got to come back, Maria.
Yeah, definitely come back, Maria. I know you said, you crossed us on a random, but yeah, definitely come back. Let's appreciate your comments that you were dropping tonight. Shout out to you and Victoria. Let's say dropping comments all night. Shout out to Woodsy in the building as well. Shout out to, Donovan, Kenyatta, all the folks on the panel, man. Let's say, in the comments, let's say y'all really, help the show to grow. You know what I'm saying? You help the conversation. Let's say we always like to try to put comments up, gives folks, show them a little love on the show. So we appreciate you guys. But man, we're going to get on up out of here, man. This is Kandid Konvos. We do this show every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We go live on YouTube and Facebook. So if you have not already, smash that like button, hit that subscribe as well. And also hit that share. Let's say we want to get these great conversations out to as many of our people as possible so that we can help change our trajectory and move us in a better direction. That is why we are here. That is why we do what we do. And we're going to continue to do that. But, man, with that being said, everybody have an awesome night. We're going to catch y'all next Wednesday.